What's up?
Hello, everyone.
How's it going, everybody? What's up, Hart? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Ruben.
Thank you. Thank you. How you doing?
Should we more gentlemanly kind of report today, or is it going to be an all free-for-all again? Again.
Yeah, I like that.
Who's chatting right now saying Marcus is coming up with more information about OAX or some crap like
that? Gosh. Well, I see, speaking of Marcus, he's here, but let's see who else is here. But you know what, before I do, because I often forget until the last second, I'm going to pop in. I'll do the promos first, but also want to say thank you to those of you who subscribed. So there was a couple of you again, but I your privacy settings did not let me see your name, so I can't shout you out. But thank you for subscribing. And yeah, let me do here a couple of episodes to promote for Carl. Let me see. So Carl's got 2 episodes this week. He did a long one. Boy, is he loving Transformers, the new Transformers series. He did a long one. Was that last week? I don't know, whatever. But here, check that out, guys. That's one. That's the first episode he did this week. And then he did his usual bagged and boarded episode reviewing some comics this week. One of which is the second issue of a new Batman title, of which I've read both issues already and quite liked, and ended up leaving him a very quite long comment on his video. So there you go. That's the link to that, peeps. All right. And I'm sure that tonight may be quieter because we have football playoffs, NFL playoffs starting, but that's okay. Okay, let me do one last one as always, because this time I've got the link for Nikki B. And here's Nikki B, everybody. Don't forget to check out Nikki B this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. And here is the direct link to that episode for those of you who may not be subscribed and would rather perhaps, what do you call it? Bookmark. Yeah. There you go. Check that out.
Well, you got a direct link. That's pretty good this time around.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like they don't typically have them ready, like all like the episode, scheduled already by the time I go live. And so I don't typically have them, but when they do, I try to get them. Including
you should put Nikki B's early picture, with young picture face over his old face,
Yeah, I've been meaning to actually do that, and I haven't done it.
April Fool's thing.
Yeah, no, and I haven't done it yet, but I can at least do this for the time being.
There you go.
All right, all
right. He looks like he came off of a let's see, either Thomas Dolby video or
Thomas Dolby. Now he blinded me with comics.
Yeah, there you go.
Comics. Oh, that's the silence.
That was a weird video. That and the song was weird too.
Yeah, but it was back in those days. I loved it, man.
I gotta say hello to Jason Ledwick, Peter Rowe, TJ. Everybody's here. Vivian, hey. I'm sure you're in the next room.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, CJ doing the family dinner tonight. So thank you, CJ. Have a great dinner. What's up, Tom? Good to see you. Of course, my beautiful wife. What's up, Vivian? Thank you for being here and supporting as always.
Marcus.
Lee Parmenter, what's up? What's up? And of course, pal Jason. What is up, Jason? Hi, Jason. Back and forth. Marcus Wade, the man of the minute, the man of the week, the man of the hour and second. 25 pieces an hour is possible, so take your time.
Ooh, is that a challenge, Marcus?
Yes. It might be.
I would have to get a duct tape for Ruben's mouth, though. That's the only thing I have. Yeah,
that is true. If I leave it up to you, Yeah, we leave it up to you. I have no doubt we can do it in an hour,
20 minutes at the most.
Yeah, why does that sound familiar, though? Remind me, Marcus, Golden Dome. Sounds familiar, vaguely from like recently. I heard this. What is that again? What are you referring to? You're going to have to remind me. And, of course, hello from you to Jeff and Jason. Greetings. Congrats, Jeff, on your Bills winning the game. Like it was ever in doubt, honestly. But, yeah, congratulations. Peter Rowe, what's up, Mr. Compulsed One? TJ, what's going on? What is happening? Oh, sorry, wrong one. Look at that. Rodney in the house.
Hey, Rodney.
What's going on, man? And who else we got? Ruben the commenter. Yes, sir. XP. He's from the cast of Wise Guys. No, but what do you mean? I never used to watch that. But I saw that. I saw that terminology, Golden Dome, like this past week, I think. What's it referring to?
I didn't. No? I've been busy on other fronts.
Busy in Southern Cali.
Yeah.
What's up, Rick?
Fires, floodings, everything like in between.
The Irish. I'm not a fan of the Irish. I hate and despise the Irish. And that's the crazy thing, Marcus, is like I literally, I believe you could not have had two least favorite college teams battling it out next week for the national championship in college football. Notre Dame and Ohio State Sockeyes. Yeah, but I will be rooting for Notre Dame because I despise the Ohio State even more than I do Notre Dame. But despise them both.
Well, why would you have to root for one? I mean, I'm just asking you. It's just
because I want they're both evil, so I want the one I hate the most to lose more than the
lesser of two evils, kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's it. So there you go. So thanks everybody. And good, quieter crowd tonight. I'm sure a few more will roll in a little bit later. That's rare because, to be honest, I expect a little bit of quieter night when there's football playoffs. But in the past couple of years, it wasn't quite as quiet as it is currently. But here we go. As I speak, 3 more people pop in. So
it could be because most people can afford more than one TV now. It's
right.
You got 4 screens. Just everywhere
playing simultaneously.
You got your little phone right there, and then everything else between, Yeah,
that might be happening. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
multiple families do that, I'm sure.
That's right. We got a couple more coming in, so there we go. Everybody's catching in. So everybody, just so you know, to remind you, and for those of you on watching on Rewind, so tonight we will go. Actually, we're going to save some time because we do not need to get into Hart's background of how he got into comics and how that led to getting into original art, since we did that with the previous show and tell of his final 25 published pieces.
Well, I was put into a basket and then let go on the River Nile, and then that's my background story right there.
Okay.
Moses who?
Okay. So that's it, everybody. So we're gonna save time and get into it right away. So if you are ready to go, Hart, my friend, you wanna start off with the first piece?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay. All right. Look at him. He's trying to be Stanley. Why 25 pieces? Are the selections fluid?
I should start talking about what movie correlates to what OA, and then how do I feel about yeah. That would be a Stanley question.
If you can trade all 25 for one Grail, would you?
Sure. Wouldn't you sell your firstborn, right, Marcus?
What's up, Lee?
Hey, Lee.
Hey, hi, guys, and Hart.
Oh, Sean. Sean.
Well, Sean, I don't know if that's a dig at me, but I'll have you know that I consider myself part of the guys. So you still said hello to me, even if not to. So
it's
what's
my
up,
D&D buddy?
I'll still say hi to you, Sean. That's okay. What's up? What's up? And just in time, because we're gonna get into it. I bet you there's a bunch of people that are used to like us only getting to the art 1 hour, 1.5 hours into this. You know, they're gonna those guys are gonna be popping in like 45 minutes to
and the show is done.
Yeah, from now. They're gonna be seeing like, what do you mean? There's no, you're like, you got a handful of pieces to show to go. What's going on?
Stanley shows up and he's like, there's nothing to see.
Yeah, it'll serve you guys right. Always tune in right from the top. You never know what you're gonna miss. So there you go. All right.
So first one.
Cue that, everybody. And
I do not know what the orders are. So
yeah, that's right. He doesn't know what the order is. And for those of you who don't know, just to perhaps for those of you on Rewind, so the reason, if you saw let me just show you really quickly again. You see here, we call tonight's episode the Final 25, and my previous show and tell that I did with Hart was also called the Final 25. This one, as you see below that, it says commissions. Okay, so if you hadn't watched the previous show was the Final 25 published pieces. And so Hart, as he explained in that show, for those of you who haven't seen it, just very simply is coming to the end of his collecting. He's going to keep a finite amount of pieces. He has determined arbitrarily that the number is 25 published pieces plus 25 commissions.
And I need to clarify something about the commissions. They're not only just commissions, there's also they could be like spot illustrations in some published piece, specialty stuff, non-OA pages, non-superhero pages and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case somebody is looking and saying, hey, that's in that book,
Right.
It's not a commission, but it isn't, in my mind, it kind of pulls together in that.
Right, exactly. But that having been said, most of them are commissions in any case.
Most of them are, correct.
But the point is, it's unpublished stuff, and it's not pages, that's all. No story pages and covers, things like that. Okay. So let me take one quick last look. Oh, hell no. You got to talk until 10 p.m. before showing art. You're used to it. You see, that's what I'm saying, Dan. You know it, but you're here early, so that's good. You're not going to miss. They expect AMC Theater show times. The movie always 25 minutes after the started time. Right. Can we take an hour and recap the other 25? We cannot, Jeff. We cannot. Good.
We can just stare at the screen for 20 minutes with silence. That's what we can do.
We can do that. Exactly. Yeah. Give a moment of silence to everybody who lost a home in Southern California.
A lot of people to do that.
We're not gonna do that, but we that's what's terrible, and we feel for all of you. Any of you guys, by the way, who do live in that general area, I know quite a bit of you do, or in surrounding areas. Just let us know if you're here watching. Let us know that you guys, if you're okay.
Yeah, if you're safe.
Go Bills to you, Shaggy. Go Bills to you. Agrees with Jeff. Bought one of Hart's. Hey, what's up, Mike? One of Hart's commissions on eBay many years ago. He wasn't the seller, and I didn't know he was the original commissioner until like 3 years later. That's pretty fun.
There's a lot of commissions out there that I keep seeing in certain galleries. I'm like, oh yeah, I had that, and I keep forgetting that I had it, and until I spot it.
It's one of those small world situations, you know. What's up, Caesar? How's it going, dude?
Hey, Caesar.
Good evening to you, my friend. Okay, 50 is more like it. 25 was way too little. There you go. We're glad we made you happier, Lee. Does that mean you're going to have a future show of selling the other commissions? Well, I was wondering about that too. He kind of never really told me what we were going to handle the extra commission stuff, but
I think I still have to think about that. That's not on my mind. That's kind of in the future right now. But as far as my thought process, yes, I will have to sell, and but in my mind, they're not part of the 25, obviously, but they won't be officially gone until they're sold off, like as Ruben would mention.
And yeah, if anything happens where he needs me to help him, you'll hear it from me first, you know. Lee, so sorry to hear that. Wow. So the flames got close enough to lose the garage, but nothing else? Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy. But I mean, so fortunate. Like, that's incredibly fortunate. Wow. Oh my gosh. Really happy to hear that. Glad you and Case are doing good. And
yeah.
Wow. That's awesome to hear. Wow. I mean, obviously bad, but you know what I mean. Awesome that you guys are safe and that the house is generally okay. Caesar says he has one of your old commissions.
Yeah, that's the Michael Cho one. I commissioned Michael way back before he even got into kind of like the business of comic books, and he was just at a show, and you know, he gave me more than I asked for, and when it came to I was selling a few things, I think Caesar directly contacted me, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, you know, but there's a lot of hands that commissions pass through, you know.
Check this out.
What?
Lee says, the flames were all around my house.
Oh, geez.
The neighbors on 3 sides of me lost their houses. So the flames are all around, but only your garage got taken. That's crazy. Wow. That's wild, man. Holy crap. Wow.
Glad you're safely, though.
Exactly. That's ultimately all that really truly matters. But you know, it's hard to hear anybody losing anything, obviously, you know.
Oh, there's Stanley.
Frame the 25-25, right. That's a lot of wall space you'd need there, you know.
Yeah, I have my own art that my wife and I have on the walls that we created, so you know, and some friends of ours too.
Yeah. So, good evening, John. Good to see you. The neighbors were outside with hoses. Wow, I would have been too if I could, if it was available to me, for sure. You know, and it most likely saved your house. Wow, that is crazy. Wow. Okay, all right. Oh, and Caesar, you're not near that area, I don't think. I know you're down kind of in southern Cali.
I don't think so. I thought he was a little bit more LA bound.
I don't know. I don't know, like southern, like
okay, yeah.
You know, how much of an area it really encompasses, you know.
Well, Pacific Palisades and the Pasadena area are kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're kind of. Well, they're below LA, I guess you want to call it. Well, they're part of LA County, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're 2 or 3 cities away. Okay. Glad to hear it. All right. Let us jump in, everybody. First piece on tonight's docket. You've seen it already, or at least parts of it.
Oh,
because I liked it so much, I had to use it for the thumbnail for tonight's episode.
I got it. Okay. So
the whole
now
thing.
I know.
I figured let's start off with this one. Check it out.
Okay, yeah. This was a phase. I think I was into Dark to Strange a lot. You know, so this is by the artist's name is Andy, but he goes by Jed Raven on Calf. And Andy did this piece, and I found it on his Calf site and bought it right away. And I've had it ever since. It's crazy detailed for, you know. And Andy did a great job with the carpet, the way that it's all Asher-esque, and of course you got Mordo and who's the big eye octopus? Shuman Gorath, or
I forget the name.
Yeah, somebody, some kind of a creature from the Great Beyond or whatever. But it kind of has a little bit of Ditko feel to it. And I love the perspective, so glad I still keep it.
Yeah, it's fabulous. To be honest, I gotta say, like, this is what if you remember me mentioning, thank you so much, Nick. If you remember me mentioning, when we did our last show and tell, I said, you know, I'm excited to do this, but I was even more excited for when we have to do tonight's episode with the commissions and unpublished, because I had seen so many that impressed me, and a lot of them by, you know, artists I'm not even familiar with.
Exactly.
You know, guys who I also happen to know are, you know, are either not in the industry, perhaps even some of them are amateurs, and don't do art for a living, and they were still so good. I was like, wow. And this was one of them. I was just like, what the hell? How does a guy who just goes by, the name Andy, and who he's on CAF, but he hasn't even, used his CAF in, I think, like 13 years or something.
Right. I think he kind of went off the radar. You're right. But he didn't have very much when he put this on his CAF. I remember that. So, but this pretty much was the one that I wanted. And if I'm correct, I think he was in the UK. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do remember it took a long time to get here.
Sean is asking, did you request the character and layouts?
No, Andy had done this himself, for himself, I guess. But it was a commission that he did of Doctor Strange. And this is when I was collecting Doctor Strange commissions, or at least getting commissions of Doctor Strange. So this one was so good that I didn't even, ask Andy for a commission of Doctor Strange that's different from this. I wanted this one. So I pretty much just went and asked him if it was for sale, and he had it, and he did, and now I have it. So
yeah, it's just outstanding. I can't get over the amount of work put into it. I mean, it's
the bookshelves alone, and the carpet, and the frames and the side, because it's not the characters that are so great. I mean, they're great character representations, but the environment that they are, and that's one thing that I had with a lot of commissioners is I would ask for good backgrounds, at least, because one of the things that I hated about commissions is they usually put one character and then they put like a shadow behind them, and that to me is like, I can get that at a con back then. So this was the whole package.
Yeah, I like the fact that he's a very, very cartoony type stylist, but puts in the insane level of microscopic detail of like an Arthur Adams,
Yeah.
It's just wild, man. Yeah, really, really amazing. So, the one-eyed monster,
I love it too.
Yeah, it's really fantastic.
And I've always thought about framing it, but I'm not sure what media he used, if he used markers or anything like that, because it is very thin, and it looks like small micron markers or something similar. And if it was out in the sun, it'll bleach out to a violet color, and I don't want that to happen. So
I get it for sure. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, beautiful piece. Great way to start off the show, man. Let us move on to the second piece. And the second piece is definitely going to require, at least for me, I don't know about how many other people in the chat, but it's going to require an explanation as to who the hell this is. Let's check it out. I like it. I just don't know who it is. So it is.
Oh, this is Hello Kitty. No, just kidding.
Ventrue Antitribu.
So this is what I was talking about, spot illustrations. So when I was playing role-playing games way in the back of a millennia ago, it feels like, one of the role-playing games was called Vampire the Masquerade. And they would have a lot of artists do these spot illustrations of characters or archetypes, or just spot illustrations of scenes that are going on for the game itself. I contacted Guy because this was one of his work, Guy Davis, who's of fame of the Marquis. And Guy had done a bunch of work for Vampire Masquerade. And most of the stuff was monsters related, which he's well known now for. But before he wasn't, and he just had a boatload of these things, and I should have bought more. But I bought this one from him because I always remember that book that I would see the spot illustration in, and plus the Zipatone has turned really nice brown orange
I love
colors. Yeah, because it's the acid is eaten eaten into the
yeah, exactly.
paper. So yeah, I get a two-tone. Yeah,
I love the tone. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it didn't start out this way. It was a gray tone Zipatone, and I've had it for years. And even though it's been closed in a portfolio, it's just the natural acid that the adhesive has that started discoloring the paper itself. But it makes it a two-tone piece, which is great. And Guy was one of the nicest guys I've met in any of the comic industry people.
And what have you ever spoken to him? Have you spoken to him in person?
No, I have not. I just via email. And back then, he also was going to do Marquis tribute book he was going to publish, because he had a lot of artists in the industry and unknown amateurs do his character for him, and he had a blog for that. So as a thank you for this piece, I sent him a design that I had created for the Marquis for him, and he was going to put it in the book once he got it published. Unfortunately, because he got so busy with Guillermo del Toro and other publishers and people in the industry, that he just couldn't do the book himself anymore, which is a shame, because there was some really nice illustrators that worked on his character to give him thanks and all that.
Right. I just want to know, why do you go with the Guy pronunciation?
Because it's I go by one of the goalies. Was it for the Edmonton Oilers? During most of the games that I would watch for hockey, one of the goalies' first names was Guy, and they always pronounced it Guy every time. So I've always used Guy. I don't go by Guy. So
right. Well, yeah, right. But in hockey, it's because a huge percentage of the players are Canadian and French Canadian, right?
French, so that's why I go with that pronunciation. Every time I see a guy, if I know they're Canadian, of a Canadian region, I would go with Guy.
But is Davis Canadian?
Yeah, he's from Canada.
What?
He's in Canada. I mean, he was in Canada. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind now. Really?
Yeah. When I started conversing with him, he was in Canada. When it came, that's the thing. It's like I waited for that piece for ages, because Canada Post just took forever. I do remember that.
Wow, that's so weird. I just figured he's American.
Oh, Lafleur, yeah, Guy Lafleur, yeah.
Guy Lafleur, yeah.
Thank you,
I just figured he's an American because of the Davis.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be. I mean, I could be wrong. He could be vacationing in Canada for a few years and then come back to the States. That could have been that. No, but he probably got tired of all the mooses and.
If first of all, it's moose, not mooses. It's a plural. It's one of those fish, plural singular. But
gotcha.
But no, I mean, I if he's Canadian, then it's possible that he had a English mom,
right?
With the name Davis, and maybe a French Canadian dad. So he chose, let's give him a French name since we have an English last name. It's one of those, a lot of those situations here. So who knows, But interesting to know he's Canadian. Wow, never had.
TJ mentions Sandman Mystery Theater.
Oh, we don't. We don't. I mean, that's when I hear Guy Davis, that's what I think about. So,
hey, Ian.
So look at that. Hey, Ian, the Southern Cali kid. Good to hear you're doing okay. Thank you for letting both
glad you're good.
Hart and I know privately. We would appreciate it, and we're glad that you're doing okay. So that's good news. That's good news that you're all safe and healthy. Yeah. That's the important. So
Sandman was a great book. I mean, the Mystery Theater, that is. That Guy worked on. So I'm gonna call Guy. I'm gonna go Guy. I know you're probably gonna say Guy.
I will say Guy because I still think he probably grew up Anglo.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like he's from somewhere. If he's Canadian, he's not from Quebec.
Okay.
Because I feel like I would have definitely known that.
Yeah.
And he probably would have been one of those constant guests at our local conventions, like for years. And I don't remember him being so. So I think he's probably from either Ontario or one of the other provinces. And in that case, he probably would have grown up more Anglo, and so I figure it's probably Guy. So
well, I remember Guy on The Realm and Baker Street, 2 black and white comics from way back, if you even remember those. And that's why I contacted him, because I was looking for pages from The Realm or Baker Street, and he didn't. I don't think he had, or he wasn't parting with them. I think he had already sold them off, honestly. So when he said that he had some illustrations from the vampire role-playing game, I was like all over it. I started scouring the books, and I'm like, I want that one. But I should have continued. But sometimes you only get one chance at an artist, and then that's it.
Peter's letting us know that Guy does a lot of concept design and storyboards for movies and television now. Yeah, so
yes,
that's pretty good. I don't know what the Guy has to do with Sade and why some people pronounce it Charday, and how Marcus says that he thought when he was a kid it was Sade or Sadie.
I always said Sade.
Yeah. Hey, they said it's Sade on TV, so it was Sade. Yeah. That's it. She was a smooth operator indeed, All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's jump to the next piece. And we have, for the third piece here tonight, we have one of your a piece based on one of your other loves other than comics. Okay. Check it out.
My Little Pony, right? Oh.
That one too, but we don't have any of that.
Yeah. But we're not going to talk about furries tonight.
No.
So this is just a Dungeons and Dragons illustration that I had Jesse Hamm commissioned him. I asked for 3 characters. I asked for specifics as far as some of the costume designs and a background kind of exploration scene, and the rest was up to him. So unfortunately, Jesse passed away several years ago. So
did he?
Yeah, he did. I'm not sure. I think due to illness, but I'm not sure. Maybe somebody else has better knowledge about that. But I was commissioning Jesse quite a lot, actually. You'll probably see a few more pieces by Jesse in this. This 25 mix. So it's. Yes. I always appreciated his style and his sense of design, because he was very much into layouts, and that's one thing that he excelled at.
Oh, I can see. Yeah, it's very nice. That's Corey. What's up, Corey? How you doing, bud?
Hey, Corey.
As Corey and Sean both say, very nice, very nostalgic for Sean too. Of course, he's a big D&D guy.
Yeah. Sean and I are buds, D&D buds.
Yeah, became buds through the D&D. That's the D&D connection. That's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, JC? By the way, there's Guy Davis interviews on the tube. He goes by so he does go by Guy, not the French way. Thank you, JC, for clarifying.
I'll have to change, but it's going to be hard for me,
I love the knowledge drops as always. Thanks, pal. Yeah. Awesome. It's always good. It's always good to know, That's a keeper, says Rick. Yeah, well,
that's Rick.
Among the other 24.
Yeah,
sure.
I've had pieces by Jesse that did inks, but his pencils were way better.
Yeah, well, it's very lovely, Hart.
Yeah,
very nice. And yes, as Hart said, you'll see, I believe, 2 more Jesse Hamm pieces in this show and tell. Okay, ready for the next one, my friend?
Yep.
All right. This one's it's so different. Okay, let's show it and then let's talk about it. All
right. Yeah, I like different. You know that.
I like it. Yeah, I like it because it's like, what? When I saw it, I was like, literally, I was like, what?
Okay, it'll be interesting to see what it is. Come on,
just in terms of style used. But anyways, let's check it out. Right. Check it out. Here it is.
Oh yeah, Chris Johnson. So Chris is a painter. He was doing a blog of his paintings, and they were more D&D related, or at least D&D influenced. And out of the blue, I'm like, you know what, Chris, can you do an Elric for me? And his mentor, or his god, Ariok, in the background. And he said, yeah, sure. So he did this painting for me. It's on my wall in my bedroom, framed right next to my bookshelf. So it's I finally framed it after last year. So yeah, but it's a different style than most people would probably think a comic book artist would do. But I like his style, and he did a great job for me. And it was very, very cheap. I think I paid no more than, I want to say, $75 for a painting.
Oh wow!
So it's oil painting, and it's So back then, I don't think anybody was doing oil paintings for commissions.
Yeah. I just thought it's so wild. I looked at it right away, and I just thought, wow, it looks like it's done in the style of a painting I would have seen here locally in the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts from like 1877 or something.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah.
He's got a very different style. It's an older style. It's not the paperback Michael Whalen or Frazetta, that Frazetta style, or Jeff Easley, which is more Dungeons and Dragons stuff. But yeah, it's got its own flavor to it.
Yeah. It's just an interesting, simple way of painting. It reminds me of like fine art from back in the 19th century. Yeah, to me, it's really cool. And I've never read his solo adventures at all. I only read his appearances in Conan, the comic book or whatever. But I always liked how he looked.
Yeah, I was raised on reading the books. I mean, I read Michael Moorcock's. One of the things that I remember is when I moved to United States, and we were in one of the neighborhoods. My mom and dad were renting a place. One of the neighborhood kids gave me this book to read. The first book that Mike Moorcock did of Elric, and I read it so quickly. I think it was like 3 days. I was just enthralled with it. This is early junior high, and because in Germany I didn't have any access to kind of like fantasy books per se, fiction books.
Right.
It was mostly comic books, and just learn and read kind of books that are informational. So this was Elric was a very different departure for me.
Yeah, Rick.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that Rick says that he also loved the Elric books.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that like Elric, especially with correlations to Dungeons and Dragons or just fantasy in particular. I mean, you have John Carter, you have Conan, you have what is it? Who's the one is the witch hunter? Solomon Kane, right? So you have all those. Right. Solomon Kane is Howard. He did it's a book about a Puritan that goes and well, I don't know if he's a priest. He's like a merc for hire, and he hunts unnatural creatures. Actually, they did a comic book of Solomon Kane. Actually, Michael Kaluta did one, and so did Brett Blevins. Yeah. So yeah,
Marvel back in the 80s, Marvel had the rights to it, and so they were putting out like Solomon Kane stuff.
I think is Dynamite coming up with Solomon Kane, or
I don't know. Sure. Nikki already left too. We could have asked him.
Oh yeah, I could have asked Nick. Yeah.
But I don't know that. Yeah. But cool. Yeah. Very, very, very neat. Okay. The next one, very interesting piece, and I'm looking forward to hearing you talk about this.
More interesting.
Yeah. It's just I love it because this one, you know what it is. It's all in blue pencil, so I love that. It looks
yeah.
really
Okay.
cool.
I got you.
So yeah. Let's check it out.
Okay, so this is if anybody knows Black Velvet Studios, that from the early 90s. Eric Canetti, Jonard, and Mike and Axel, they're all studio mates, and they all got together, and they were in LA. They were located in LA, and they all were hustling to get into the comic industry. This is before everybody jumped on the Eric Canetti bandwagon, and that's a long time ago. So Jonard is a concept background artist primarily. So he does a lot of backgrounds for I think he did for Aeon Flux for the anime that came out a while back. I know Eric worked on it too, and so did other studio mates of his. So but Jonard excels in tech and backgrounds and stuff like that. So this is an illustration for a proposal that he had. He didn't write it. It was somebody else writing it, but it was called V. It was
not just to be clear, just so everybody's clear, not V for Vendetta.
No, not V for Vendetta, but actually it's a twofold. It's V for Vampire and the letter Roman numeral V, which is the number 5, because this vampire prisoner is prisoner number 5.
Right.
So the whole story was about this character, but Jonard did several background design pieces with that character in mind to give kind of like a sense of what the story will be about, I believe, to the writer. And he had this one amongst other Blue Line stuff that he had done for backgrounds, and they were tech items and stuff. But this one really hit me, and I was really enthralled by it, so I picked it up that day. It was at San Diego, actually, way in the early 1990s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean from him?
Yeah, from him. Well, not 1990s, 2000. Sorry, I knew about them beforehand.
Yeah. No, exactly. And to be clear, everybody, also not the lizard visitors.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too.
Yeah, that's funny. Thank you, TJ. That's awesome. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, just a nice kind of concept looking thing. I love that machinery.
Not a lot of people want to get a piece that just involves tech. Well, actually, I should correct that. If it was Kirby tech, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon, right?
Right.
But if it's like some other person's tech other than Wally Wood, I think people are okay, they'll brush it off and they'll say, "Oh, it's good," but it's no Wally Wood or Kirby, But to me,
exactly. But we're in that hobby where people want the characters first and foremost. So So like you say, beyond a couple of exceptions here and there, you're typically going to be like, okay, whatever, yeah. But no, it's beautiful work. So. And again, another example of one of the ones that caught my eye when you sent me them, and I thought oh, that's really cool. It looks like concept work for a movie, and beautiful tight.
Well, the whole studio was into animation. They worked for WB and other animation studios. So that's where they kind of were. They started, but they wanted to do comics because that's what they wanted to bust into. And I think it's hard. And I knew a few of them, and one of the artists, his name's Axel. He did work for video games, concept design and art for video game proposals, stuff like that. So a lot of them did that kind of stuff, and animation, of course.
And look at Ian is dropping some great knowledge on us here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Jonard has been working on DC animated superhero movies in recent years.
Yeah,
how cool!
It's good for him.
That's
that
great.
pays better than comic books.
That's right. That's absolutely right. So
that doesn't suck price wise.
No, great gig if you can get it, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Storyboarding is even better.
Mark Singer ruled the early 80s with V and the Beastmaster. But the Beastmaster was a movie, right? Like a couple of movies or something.
Yes, it was a movie. Yeah.
Mark Singer, and he got all buffed up for those movies.
Yeah.
He was like all roided out, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't say supposed roid. Alleged.
Alleged, apparently, yeah.
We can't name names.
That's right. It turned out Freddy Krueger and Michael Ironside had the bigger careers from V. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. He was Freddy guy was in the V as well. That's right.
Yeah, he was the little wimpy visitor guy. He was always that's from.
And I love Michael
to Freddy. What was that?
I love the Michael Ironside too.
Oh yeah, he's a great character actor. He was in so many different small bit and big, large sci-fi movies and stuff like that, and everything in between. And you're like, okay, I would watch him even though the movie sucked big time. I would just watch him for the scenes, because he actually brought better acting to the whole ensemble.
Right. Awesome. All right. Well, let us keep it rolling, everyone. Yep. We're going to make great time tonight.
Yay!
Guys,
let's do this.
I'm sitting here wondering, I shit you not, you know me, every time I open my mouth and I jinx it, but I'm now wondering, sitting here, is it forget will we be the first episode to make it under 3 hours for the first time in many, many months?
Right.
I'm wondering, could we do it in 2 hours tonight? Oh my God, it might happen. I don't know, but we're kind of like on that pace to get closer to 2 than to 3.
Well, if you shut up, we would do that, but
no, because I know these guys. A lot of these guys are going to be no. They're going to try to keep it going. But FYI, guys, we're not going to rush it. But when we get to the end,
we're done. Yeah.
We are done because both Hart and I have things to do. We got to get to bed early, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
We have no time to make it too long tonight. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so let's keep it rolling and head on to the next piece. Talk to us a little bit about this one.
Okay, this is a buddy of mine, John Heebink. He's known for Elvira and some stuff from Marvel way back. But John did a character, a creator-owned book called Doll and Creature. And I asked him for a commission of Doll and Creature, and he ran with it. And I was like, this is really great because, I love John's work. And, I wished he was more available, but his health has diminished a little bit, but he's trying to get back to drawing. So, with a little bit of luck, he should be back to normal, soon. Yeah. I hope. Yeah.
Well, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, all artists, because you all you do is you just draw all day long, and sometimes you forget about your health, or things pop up health-wise issues, and you just got to deal with it. I mean, I know several artists that have arthritis already, and they're only like in the business for 10 years.
No, I totally get it. I really love that Wild Child from Alpha Flight or Beta Flight looking character. That's why I chose to focus on him for the. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Did you read the comic Doll and Creature?
He did some small stories. Yes, I did read those. But,
okay, how did they read? Do you remember anything about it, or what you thought?
No, I actually don't. No. But I was having John just, John would do Elvira pieces for me, or I would buy artwork from him. So there's, John and I got to know each other really well, and he became a good friend of mine. And I mean, he is a good friend of mine. So I don't really tell him what to do. He just does what he wants to do, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, I get it. A lot of people like Caesar, for example. Caesar is a great proponent of the just tell him the character and go do what you want with it,
Well,
and then
there are artists that need instruction. I mean, that you got to know who to give instructions to. But when they kind of know your taste, and Jon knows what I like, so that's where if the artist knows what we've done in the past and what I like, and they're kind of knowledgeable about that, they really can dial it in for the future commissions that you get. So investing in an artist and saying, can you do it this way and that way and a little bit of that, and then the fine tuning adds to the progress in the future commissions. They get only better that way.
Right. Excellent. Okay, well, good luck to you, John Heebink. I hope things get better for you sooner than later. Yeah. Caesar won't see what the artist had done until the end of the year. That's right. See you for the next show.
Unpack them.
See you for the next show in 2026, or sorry, late 2025, Caesar. Everybody's emailing me expecting it to be a regular thing from now on. So start saving those packages. Everybody had a good time.
Hey, if we give him like a $10 per person, can he do it earlier? No.
He might just go take you up on that, though.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Buy some more art.
Patreon.
With that money, man, you can get himself another commission for sure.
True.
Not true. Sometimes they send previews. What are you referring to there?
His commissions.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. When they email you. Yeah. That's true.
Usually I like previews. I mean, but there are artists that will disappear on you for months, and then all of a sudden they say, "Oh, it's in the mail," and I'm like, "Really?"
Right.
Then it becomes a real surprise.
Yeah, and then you also have those many artists who say, "Yes, it's in the mail. It's in the mail."
Yeah.
And then, of course, you are emailing them 2 weeks later saying, "Yeah, could you give me the tracking on that? Because I haven't received it yet." And then they come back to you and say, "Oh, I can't seem to find it. I can't find the tracking number. Sorry, but don't worry, it's coming. And if not, if give it another week or two, and if it doesn't arrive, don't worry, I'll do another one." Right.
Yeah. Right. Well, like I've had commissions that are 10 years plus in the waiting, and the money's gone. I'm still waiting.
That's right.
Over a dozen artists, I would tell you.
Yeah, I know for sure.
But I don't want to, scare off anybody that wants to commission stuff. I mean, do that, but with the stipulation that know what you're getting into.
No, exactly.
Kind of do your research and understand
do your homework. Do your homework. Check with other commission collectors.
Right.
See if they know if they've ever dealt with the artist. If you've never done that before, So perhaps the Christmas tree up to put this year's art packages under. Yeah, a year early. Might as well keep the Christmas tree up all year long.
Right, exactly. Caesar, leave it up.
I should save all my art every year like Caesar. I can't. Nah. I need to know what's in there. I need to look at it and enjoy it quickly. That's it. Who did you commission? Okay, half down. Hello, by the way. Good evening, Ilya. Good to see you. Prep for a Guess Who and Jay Lee. Interesting. I never get that story, the mailing one. Really? Damn. You know how to work these guys then, Caesar. You know how to work these guys, I guess. I don't know.
Caesar, do you slip another 20 into the mix? I mean, it's the only way I can think of that goes through, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Let us move on to the next piece, shall we? All right. Let me see. So after John Heebink. Okay. So yeah, we go to the second piece by Jon Hamm. We all probably need a little bit of an explanation on this one. Check it out.
All right. Oh no, that's Jon Morris.
Oh no, that's true. That's Jon Morris. Yeah. But Jon Morris, another one who I believe we have at least two pieces from.
Yeah. John's a good friend of mine. I met him in San Diego years and years ago when I was early San Diego. It was like 1989, 1990, I think, something like that. So Jon is a cartoonist primarily. He's also a writer. He's done a few books, and Jon has this very cartoony style that I adore. And this particular one is of Solaris, which is, if you've read the DC 1 million storyline, this is where the JLA fights the supercomputer that's called Solaris from the future, that comes from the future. I think it's Justice League, Legion of the Superheroes future, excuse me. Anyway, Jon had done an illustration on his Etsy store, but he had sold it. So I asked him to do another one in the same vein. And the original was just black and white, and it was a small piece. And Jon did this one for me with, he did his own take as far as what to add, and he added more than I thought he would. And I was nicely surprised with that. So, and the other pieces that you'll see from Jon, or a piece, excuse me, actually two pieces should be.
Yeah, I believe it's two more,
They'll illustrate what kind of cartoony style he has. And actually, if anybody goes back to the 25 pages that you and I did he did the published. He did the Boo covers. So if you want to backtrack, anybody, and take a look at Jon's cover style, you'll see that.
Oh, so sorry. Jon Morris did the covers for Boom Publishing.
Boo, B-O-O. It was a Halloween comic.
Oh, the Halloween piece.
The four
cover Boo piece.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Jon Morris?
Yeah, that was Jon.
Oh.
So Jon did that.
Yeah, that's a great piece, man.
Yeah. The reason why I could get it is because Jon and I know each other, and he knows that I like his stuff. So, he'll say yes pretty much to anything. I'm not going to say that he does every time, but he's very accommodating, and I appreciate it a lot. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah,
awesome.
the other two are commissions that I got from Jon as well, sometime in the 2000s, I think.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, that's fun. Yeah. I remember the Boo piece very well. It was one of the most kind of fun pieces you had.
Yeah. So. It's got horror, all the easy horror characters, and all these little things in the background, and bookcases, and cool stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, sounds good. Let us keep it rolling here. And for this next piece, I'm gonna tell you, as soon as I saw it, I was like, what the hell's his name again? Oh yeah. I was like, oh, Larry Stroman, and then I'm like, nope.
Here,
check it out.
I'm not gonna commission Larry Stroman ever.
I would say, based on not my own personal experience, but my own personal experience listening to friend commissioners. Yeah. I would never ever suggest anybody give money.
I came very close to commissioning something with Larry, but I did my due diligence, and I didn't do the pay right away, the full amount.
Okay.
And then wait. Yeah, I didn't do that, which is great. Anyway.
Yeah.
On and up.
Yeah, Maki Poo Poo's in the house. What's up?
Hey, Maki Poo Poo.
How's it going, Michael? And you should get a Broderick instead of.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? Broderick's going to be at AOL, isn't he? Or AOX or whatever it is.
OAX.
OAX. Yeah. Sorry, AOL.
That's right. He's going to be there. You can go.
Yeah. So somebody could go up and say, "Hey, my commission that I paid you for 15 years ago. Where is it?"
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And he'll probably look at you and say, "I don't know who you are," or something
exactly.
like that.
And you could say,
allegedly, he would say that.
Right, I forgot.
Yes, allegedly, I'm going to say that he did that.
But it's actually not alleged, though. We can say it because it actually happened to a lot of people. So it's not alleged. It actually happened. Yeah. He's a ripoff artist.
But I'd be the first one that he sues.
He stole from plenty of his fans, not once, but twice.
No, yeah. Oh, I know that. Yeah.
He came back years later and did it all over again. The same thing, people fell for it. So
yeah. Okay.
So maybe get a Jones. You mean like a Kelly Jones? There's another one you could definitely get, and you'll probably get it really quickly too, I'm sure. Of course, these are all the best guys to give your money to for commissions.
Yeah, and
was there ever
thousands of dollars?
Yeah, no idea, TJ. No idea. Mr. Kazalovsky, what's up? Good to see you. Chicago in the house. Must be freezing your balls off right there, right now. We will not be telling commission horror stories.
Nah, we're moving on.
Yes, AOL. 14.4K. That's nice. Same situation. Exactly, Caesar. That's what we're getting at. That's the whole point. That's the inside joke we're trying to get at, you see. Strowman.
It happens way too often, guys. It happens way too often.
Rick's doing one of those. Rick's doing one of his musical numbers. Let's see if I can figure it out. Strowman, you got your number down. Strowman, say you're a winner, but babe, you're just a sinner now. I
don't know that one.
It's not coming. Yeah, no melody. The melody's not coming to me.
What?
The melody's not coming, Rick.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have to tell us, reveal it. Sound advice. I would say so. And throw more money at them to finish them. Exactly. Exactly. Reps can be just as bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Not me, but I guess you're
okay. Not you, but here's the thing: it's like some reps sometimes ignore you, and it's sad. Billy Squire.
You should know, Rick. Much like what was the other one you guys did last time when CJ was here? Steely Dan. Much like Steely Dan, Billy Squire was another one of those musical acts that I don't know. I just never made. I never made an effort to go and seek out and listen to. I couldn't name you a single Billy Squire song. I mean, I know his name, but I know nothing about Billy Squire. So that's why I'm not surprised I didn't get that one. The Stroke, is that what it's called? The Stroke? Okay.
But Ruben, you know all the Midnight Oil songs, right?
I actually don't. I was never a fan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Midnight Oil, that's the one with the...
Beds Are Burning.
Beds Are Burning, right? Yeah. Actually, wasn't Midnight... I always get confused. Was Midnight Oil the Australian band?
Yeah, and then there was Men at Work.
Men at Work.
They're the ones that said Vegemite sandwich.
Vegemite sandwich, Down Under.
Down Under, yes. Yeah.
That's classic. I still have my original cassette from Men at Work. Yeah.
Jeez.
Still have it. Yeah.
You need to throw that away, dude.
No, I guess it's good memories. It's good memories.
Come on.
I don't have all that many cassettes. I still have them all though because I don't have that many, so I kept them all.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All
right. Gil Kane's still taking money for commissions. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm on his commission. I'm number like 5, I think. Yeah.
You can count on Cadence. Send them money then.
Oh yeah.
Send Cadence people.
Cadence has a lot of my money.
Billy Squire, big in Japan. I hear a few musicians were quite big in Japan. Thank you, Caesar. Don't rush into this. Don't rush into what? I didn't lose any money, but had an art rep after a commission flat out ignore my inquiries about art he had for sale 3 times. The last time.
There you go, Corey. That's I've had that.
You know who not to deal with now. My aunt had to evacuate her home in Bel Air. Sorry to hear that, Michael. I spent 19 years with her. It's quite surreal. Wow, that's very sad.
Yeah. Fire can be very weird,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up.
Yeah. So here, the one that I was going to say when we started the whole Strowman thing.
Right. Keep going. Let's see what happens.
This is the one. Here we
go. Okay, so this was done at I believe, Long Beach Comic Con in 2009. I was sitting with a good friend of mine, Drew Johnson, at his table because I was helping him out. And sitting next to us were Robbie Rodriguez, Tyler Crook, and Devon Roth, who goes by DVO, which is Devo. So all those guys, I had done commissions from Guy Davis's character, the Marquis. So obviously Robbie Rodriguez wasn't known back then. Nobody knew him at all. Now he's in Marvel. He does what is it? What's the female character? Silk or the one that is it Mary Jane or
Spider-Gwen?
Spider-Gwen.
Oh,
that's it.
But there is
Spider-Gwen or something like that.
But there is one called Silk. But she never really made it. She never really made it like sort of big. Like she kind of disappeared. They stopped
Robbie's
using.
Been jumping around in Marvel quite often. 5-6 years ago. I don't know what he's doing now, obviously, but
what's he known for most? He was a published guy or no?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Yeah, he did some independent stuff, but he's doing Spider-Gwen stuff, and let's see. Yeah, he's Spider-Gwen and Spider-Women. So yeah, when I met him, he was a young kid, so young.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was great to see him, or get his work, and he did this right at the con that day. So because nobody was commissioning him, or at least not too many people were commissioning him. That was the same for Tyler Crook, I forget, and Devo. So now Tyler does work for Mike Mignola's Hellboy or BPRD stuff, So all the guys pretty much kind of went their own ways, but they, I'd say, hit it big. Devo, he does a lot of animation work, and you'll probably one of the pieces that we have here is by Devo too. So Devon Roth, excuse me. Yeah.
You call him Devo?
Devo, DVO. That's what he introduces himself, Devo.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, his real name is Devon Roth, ROTH.
Right. Okay.
But like Shouty, he goes by Devo. So just like the band, without the E though. Yeah.
JC, thank you for dropping the knowledge. JC is saying that Robbie is the co-creator of Spider-Gwen.
Oh yeah, okay. So there you go. That's I guess Robbie hit it big then.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know if he maybe hit it big for a sort of feather in his cap. I don't think that gets him any extra money.
Well, I mean, it's better than not creating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the money is for creating a character for Marvel or DC. So
yeah,
what the royalties are and so forth.
And Marcus is also dropping some knowledge. Says that Robbie's known for Spider-Gwen and also getting angry at Frank Cho for drawing her too sexy.
Well, anybody knows Cho just has a predilection for the posterior, let's say.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Gluteus Maximus.
Gluteus Maximus. Yeah, sounds like an ancient Roman gladiator.
Right. Takes the hits, but keeps on pumping it out, or something like that. I don't know.
And by the way, I did want to ask. So, because you were mentioning it earlier when we were looking at the Guy Davis piece, you mentioned the Marquis. I'm sorry, but the Marquis you're saying is Guy Davis's character?
Yeah, create her own character. Yes.
Oh, it's a creator-owned character. Oh, I see. I see. So there was a comic book titled The Marquis.
Yeah, he very successful. He did it. He was working for. He self-published or published it first with Caliber, the same people that did The Crow, and then he went on to do other publishers. Yeah. So Guy had a very successful run with the Marquis. When I first found out he was doing Marquis and I got the first issue, I asked him if he had any pages, but he was not selling any of them.
Okay. Carl makes a good point.
What's Carl saying?
He's making a good point to what I said, that Robbie's probably got a thank you and some comp copies of Into the Spider-Verse on Blu-ray. That was his thing. That was his payment.
Oh, that's hitting big. Okay. Well, and next time I talk to Robbie, I'll ask him, what did you get out of it? Did you get a lollipop or did you get money or nothing?
Classic Marcus. Come on. Yeah. Feel it. Same guy, Ruben. Same guy. Oh, I thought you said, hold on, let me go back up. Panel page art is actually Glenn Brunswick.
Glenn Brunswick, yeah.
No.
Page is Glenn.
No.
Splash page is Mark Hay.
Yeah, splash page is Mark Hay. Actually, panel page art, is that Glenn or is that Will? Which one's Will?
Oh, wait. You know what? I think you're right. I think it's Will Gabriel.
Will is panel page art. So what's Glenn's again? Shit. Anyways, there's so many dealers now.
I think you're right. Panel page is.
Either way, you're confusing two people.
No. Panel page is Glenn Brunswick. And
Glenn. Okay.
Glenn, yeah. Okay, I got that confirmed just now.
Okay. Good vibrations indeed. Well, those are neat. Very expensive though. Yep. Panel page is Glenn. Okay, so that's Glenn. Thank you guys. Thank you. Me go look. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about calling out. Before you call out, you need to know who you're talking about. But there you go. Now you're dropping it. That's interesting because a lot of the people that I've heard who dealt with him have had nothing but good things to say. I've maybe heard one or two negative experiences with him over the many years. So to me, that means, everybody, no matter how good you are, somebody's always going to be unhappy with you for something.
But now you heard three, so Corey's got the third one. Sorry, Corey. It happens to all of us. We're not alone.
Okay, so who's this? Is this somebody new, or am I just forgetting?
Who's that?
Eddy Sedgwick. Happy New Year from New York City, guys. Hope 2025 is a great one for you. Likewise.
Okay.
Hi. Oh my God, I feel terrible. Do we know each other? If we do, I know your name's not Eddy. Who the hell are you?
Did you pay Ruben for some services? I don't know.
Oh, that's terrible. And if you are female, I really apologize for that.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
That's that way we need more females.
Well, catfish and all.
But Happy New Year to you and hello. But we need to know who the hell you are. And I'm so sorry if we do know each other and I've just simply forgotten. I'm not good at keeping track of everybody's like real names, fake names, whatever on YouTube and all that. Please don't go away and drop in and let me know if we know each other. What's happening here? I'm confused. We need to know. Everybody knows each other here, so we kind of need to know. You got to do that. So please pop in another comment, which I haven't seen you do yet. Eddy.
She just confirmed her name is Edith. So sorry about that comment, Edith.
Okay, and you are new here, and I am so grateful to you, Eddy. By the way, is Eddy? Am I saying it right, Edith? Typically, I know Eddies is how you say it, so I don't want to presume, but let me know if I'm saying it correctly with Eddy. Because that would be rare. I've never heard of an Eddy for a female. So But great to see you. And Eddy, if that is indeed how you say it, can you please let me know how did you find my channel? How did you discover the channel, or how did you discover this live stream? Would love to know that too. And let us all know if you are an art collector or just a comic book fan or comic art fan, but don't collect. Either way, would love to know a little bit more about you as to who you are. That'd be great. Thank you. And thank you for dropping in, of course. And let me see. Mark is dropping knowledge. I need to write this stuff down. There's a nice welcome to Edith by Peter. She's been dead since 71. Who has?
Eddy Sedgwick was a model and an actress that died in 1971. So Eddy, who's on the screen, is either a ghost or somebody else.
Eddy is not really Eddy. Okay, we don't even know if you're a guy or a gal. You're gonna have to let us know. Anthony is like, thank you. Edith is my real first name. Okay, so we know it's a she, everyone.
Okay.
And even though she hasn't confirmed, I guess she is an Eddy. Yep, there she's confirming it now. Yep, Eddy. Your channel came up in my suggestion list. Okay, and I am a budding art student. Okay, I figured I'd give you guys a see. Okay, out of curiosity, Eddy, she's confirming she's also a gal. Everyone, out of curiosity,
what
Eddy, art? Yeah, you're an art student, but are you into or have an interest in drawing in an animated or comic book type style? Is that the type of art you're into? Let us know. But lovely to have you here. Let me see what else we got. Sorry, Eddy, he's a Canadian. I am indeed. But don't apologize for me. I'm the one being nice to her and being very gentlemanly.
I'm the one that's being rather.
Yeah, exactly.
I apologize.
Who is Ramita Man? Mike. Okay, now you guys are going crazy. Who is the collecting fool? So the collecting fool is Ruben Espinosa. So he's in Jersey. He's in Jersey, but
is he still doing something? Because I don't remember.
He's been out of collecting. Yeah, he stopped collecting at least.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, a dozen years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No idea who's okay. Oops, sorry. A gal. Peter, hi, saying hi to everybody. Yeah, it's very nice of you. Look at her. Look how friendly she is. That's awesome. The Eddy Sedgwick that died in 71 was one of Warhol's models. Okay, who's the Cliff guy? You know who the Cliff guy is. Walter. Look at that. She's cool too. Look at that. We're good guys.
Sure, there you go.
There you go. All right. Still, you want to keep it cool. Don't overdo it.
We jab around here a lot.
Yeah, and in this hobby, unfortunately, it's like 99.9% male oriented. Yep. It's seemingly so. That's why. But welcome, Eddy. Ruben's a gal too, but not one of Leo's French gals. Whatever, TJ. Who's gal? Oh my God. I'm gonna feel better now. You guys are crazy. Okay, let us keep it rolling, everybody.
Keep moving, yeah. We want a 2-hour show, right?
Exactly. We're never gonna make a 2-hour show. Yeah.
Cut.
Let me cue it up. So from this, the Marquis, Guy Davis's character.
Yep.
I decided we would stick with the Marquis.
Right.
Just to show the juxtaposition of two completely, utterly different art styles on the same character. And this one reminds me so much of Sergio Aragonés of Mad Magazine and Groove fame. I love this one just because of that. So check it out, everyone.
Okay, so here you go. Here's Devon Roth, Devo, aka Devo. Devon's style, or Devo's style, is very much cartoony. He does a lot of animation for back when Cartoon, or was it Nickelodeon? Excuse me, Nickelodeon. And he was one of his big pieces, I think he was working on, was the Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. If anybody remembers that.
Flapjack?
Flapjack. It was a kind of surly captain with his cabin boy. It was a bit crazy. It's in the same kind of vein as Ren and Stimpy kind of characters, and all these side characters that are just horrible, but they were funny. But that's not the only show that he worked on. He worked on several other shows, but I had known about him in Flapjack, and so when he said that he worked on Flapjack, I'm like, what do you do? He goes, I was one of the animators, and I'm like, oh my god, you should do the Marquis just like Robbie does. So he started it and he finished it a little bit later, but I got it from him, and I love it because it's a little bit of Sergio in there, but Argonis, but for me, it's the same style that he did in Flapjack cartoon. So,
okay, that's very, very cool. Edie's telling us that her exposure to comic art is pretty much limited to what she's seen in Heavy Metal magazine. My friend Jeff got started by being attracted to Heavy Metal magazine as well. And it got me interested in combining storytelling with gorgeous and realistic comic art. Very, very cool. And Edie, I would love to see some of your work and see, given your influences, well, I don't know if you would call that. I know you haven't said that that's your influence. I mean, but that's you've been exposed to that.
Right, yeah.
But I'd be interested in seeing what you do.
Well, Heavy Metal was also it was a European magazine, so it has that European flavor, and
exactly.
Like Blueberry and Le Baron or Barons. What's that? Humanoids.
Oh, humanoids. Yeah.
Humanoids kind of style stuff. So it's very polished, very Mobius, style stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what Edie has as far as the style.
Yeah, and actually, here, let me go to where is it? Oh, yeah, Edie, if you don't mind, that's my email. If you can just email that real quick with your, I don't know, like if you have your art anywhere online, maybe, I don't know, Instagram, your own website, or, wherever. So we can, I'd be happy to help you expose it to other people, the people that are watching here tonight and the ones that will be watching on Rewind. If you email it to me there, I'll go look in my email, and I can then copy and paste the link into the chat, and people can just click it, and it'll take them directly there automatically. Unfortunately, viewers can't put direct links into the chat. It doesn't work. But if you want to do that, that'd be great. I'd love to see what kind of work you do. All right. So here we go. And so, so it's easy to remember anyways. It's my name, Ruben the Collector, @gmail. All right, there we go.
All right, next up.
And so, Métal Hurlant. That's the French version. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And let me see. Marcus would cause a stampede. Okay, you're talking about the show. Came out in France where it was called Métal Hurlant. Exactly. Scare her off. Exactly, yeah. Like I scared her off. You're welcome, for sure. I mean, if you do it like now, I'd be happy to look and do it while we're live so that everybody here live can check it out. Up to you. No pressure. Let me cue up the next piece then.
All right.
So it's fun. But do you agree? Like, did it have a sensibility of Sergio Aragonés?
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, I would recommend anybody to try out looking at Flapjack episodes, because it's pretty much what he just did for me. Is just the same thing, the same style. And yes, Sergio is just in the same kind of vein. I think he had enough influence on a lot of cartoonists to kind of go that way. He was never the superhero John Buscema style, but he brought his own game, and he really built a fan base out of it, I think.
Right.
It's like Stan Sakai, right? Stan does the same thing with Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So let's see what we have coming up on the next piece, and another cartoony one, from one cartoony styled one to another one.
I have a guess.
See this. Check it out.
Okay, so this is
another Jon Morris.
Jon Morris, yeah. Jon, I'm not a fan of Star Wars. I'll say that to everybody. But I am fan of the bounty hunters in general because they're the bad guys. I guess that's kind of like the Marvel Bring on the Bad Guys kind of comic, you know. Right. And Jon's, I believe, a really big fan of Star Wars. So I asked him to do some baby bounty hunters because he had done some baby caricature characters for me or for himself, and I saw what he did. So I said, excuse me, I said, can you do a bounty hunters mix? And I gave him a few names and, you know, the ones that I remember. And he said, yeah, sure. So this is what he did. And obviously Boba Fett is in front and the others are unknown to me. Well, I can't remember them now, but I think Zax or something like that is one of them. Somebody that Star Wars fan would probably know better.
Are they all Star Wars characters?
Yes, they're the bounty hunters from Star Wars.
All of them? Wow.
All of them, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's okay. I did not know. I mean, I only recognized two, and I think I recognized the third one.
Yeah, the one in the bandage I remember, as well as Boba Fett, and the one with the robot in the very background, the black with the little eyeballs, you know, robot guy. So.
Okay.
Zuckus. Okay, there you go. A Bosk Dengar 1G88. Dwayne Zapane says that. IG88. Elric.
Yeah. I don't recognize Dengar. I've never even heard the name.
I think Dengar is the one with the bandage face.
Okay, that's one of the ones that's one of the ones I didn't recognize. Right. Sorry. So who's the Venom character looking one?
The Venom one. Which one's that? The one that looks like a lizard?
All in black there.
Oh, that is, I think it's Zuckus.
Oh.
Zuckuss, or however it's spelled. You know what? Somebody needs to just take this picture and just Photoshop it with the real names. That'll be something for somebody else to do. I'm not doing that.
Clearly, anyway, neither I nor Hart are big Star Wars guys. No, that's obvious. We've made that clear. You know?
But you know, Jon's little baby characters were so cute that I was like, okay, yeah, you know what? Instead of having you do a regular, you know, adult version, can you do the bounty hunters for me? And he's, you know, more than happy to do it because he's a Star Wars fan. So, you know.
Okay, Jeff saying Forlom is the black, but the names on the figures were reversed with Zuckus.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Take your word for it.
Yeah.
Take your word for it.
What does LOM stand for? I don't know.
I only care about Han Solo. That's right.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right.
Who's your favorite guy? Yeah. Okay.
Get out of the Star Wars
Keep going.
realm and move on to the next one. The next one is this one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this one has a little bit of a story. Namely, I was a big Fables fan, and I was reading the comic, obviously, Bill Willingham writing it, and Mark Buckingham illustrating it with Steve Lealoha inking. Now, this scene is from the comic book itself. It's a double-page splash, and I believe at the time Steve Lealoha had the artwork, and when they separated it out, when they pieced it out, and Steve got a hold of this one. I inquired about it several times, and I'm sure other people have done that too. But I think at the time Steve was like, yeah, but I won't take it for less than $5,000 or something like that came out of his mouth. So, yeah.
Oh, you mean the original?
The original double page splash DPS he wanted for, I believe, if I recall correctly, and the number was large, it was $5,000, and he actually said, I want to keep it, but I'm not sure of leaving it. He did a little bit of a wishy-washy kind of thing to me, and I was like, okay, well then I don't have to worry about this ever coming into my collection. So at the time when I was having Jesse do a few other commissions, I asked him, I said, could you reproduce this in your style, but take the scene that Mark Buckingham had done? And he did. So I have this, and I love it, the fact that it's from the Fables,
right,
scene-wise, but it is in Jesse's style.
Okay, yeah. No, it's very, very nice. Very nice. And I was crazy into Fables myself at that time as well, so I totally get it. Yeah.
And I don't even know where this is now. I could be still with Steve, or it could be with some black hole collector, but for $5,000, I know for sure I wouldn't have, put down that money.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But and I'm sure, being who it is, I'm sure this was very, very affordable, or what you would have considered very affordable.
It was less than $150, I think, is what I was paying Jesse for this. And,
how much?
$150.
$150.
Right.
Wow.
But these are early times, right? So this is where people recall, oh, I got a commission for $40. I remember those days sometimes.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good old days. The good old days.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have the kind of experience that I'm like, oh yeah, I had Gil Kane commissions for $25. That.
Yeah.
But I had, other artist commissions that nowadays they charge 5 times as much.
For sure.
I mean, Eric Canetti, I had several Eric Canetti commissions, and now the prices are just crazy for what I paid and what I got from him. But all those pieces have been sold off a long time ago for way less than what they are right now. So I should have hoarded.
Hey, so yeah, Eddy was asking Black Hole Collector, and thankfully, Ian, the Jewish says a Black Hole Collector is someone who buys things and they never share the art. Not quite. Let me just kind of correct that a bit. Typically, a Black Hole Collector is more along the lines of someone who just, when they buy everything, it goes into the collection, they never sell it, so you never really see it again. So,
which is really that's the case. I mean, it will never. You'll never. They don't share the art sometimes,
and most often they don't share, right? So, but they never sell it. They keep it all, and they don't really typically post it publicly for others to share.
Plus, the side note is some collectors that are Black Hole collectors don't want to other people to let them know that they have the piece, right? Because then they get inundated by requests. Will you sell this? Will you trade it? Whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Corey, 150.
And yes, a lot of very helpful people. I am a very small-time Black Hole collector.
Do you have a calf gallery?
Huh?
Eddy, do you have a calf gallery? Comic art fans.
She probably doesn't even know what that is.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. Well, like I said, if she ever reaches out and she has her art anywhere or whatever, I'll tell her.
Yeah.
And that's Eddy, just so you know what Hart's talking about, is it's a gallery where comic book art collectors post their collections for everyone to see. But people who are artists also have galleries there. Even artists, not many, but a few artists who are not comic book style artists per se, also still have galleries there. So it might be a place to consider. I can fill you in on whatever you want. Like I said, if you want to reach out, but again, no pressure. Okay, you see, she
That is
said
a free service.
What gallery?
Yeah.
Yeah. just Google comic art fans, and you'll see what we're talking about.
FANS.
It's going to be very overwhelming for you as a newbie to look at it, but yeah, that's what we're talking about. Awesome.
Don't put in black hole collector. Just the search parameters. Just go to comic art fans.
There you go. All right, let's keep it rolling, folks. And the next piece in tonight's show and tell, man, that's loud. Next piece in tonight's show and tell is this one.
Okay. Does anybody know who Mike Oeming is?
Well, I think everybody knows Michael Avon Oeming,
right? Which is the same person, right? Yeah,
right. But I can say I've never heard of Fight.
No, this was just my title. This was a
title I see. Okay.
No, this is back in 1999. Mike was living with his girlfriend and a bunch of cats in the New York apartment, and I started commissioning him to do. This was my first commission from him. So this is one of the first commissions I received by an artist. That I requested. So I requested a set of characters just fighting it out like like Hong Kong action theater, kind of just free for all. And the character that has the big star, the guy with the Batman Dark Knight punk glasses, it was in one of the issues that Avon illustrated for Judge Dredd, a little small way back when he was working on Ship of Fools and stuff like that.
Sorry,
sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. Can you just quickly clarify? Corey's asking. This cost $20?
No, it cost, I think, $40.
Okay.
But it was very low. I mean, it was it's 11/17. It could have been $20 or 25. No, actually, it was 25, I believe. Yeah, 25.
Okay.
With like shipping, it came out to be 30.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the average price there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the other two characters, female characters, are from his work on Ship of Fools with I forget the first name of the writer, but his last name was Glass, Glass.
Okay.
And he and this writer did a sci-fi comic called Ship of Fools. It ran for, I think, like 7 or 8 issues, and then it kind of disappeared. But I was commissioning Mike like almost every month. It felt like every month because he told me years later when I actually met him in person at San Diego. I came up to his booth. This is when he was doing Powers, and everybody knew who he was.
Right.
And I walked up. I said, "Sir, can you? I'd like to show something to you, and can you sign this?" And he looked at it. And he's like, "Oh, where did you get this?" And then I'm like, "Mike, it's Hart. I'm the guy that commissioned." But the funny thing is, he told me that at that moment that I was the one that made it possible for him to pay his bills and his rent money every month by doing these commissions with him. So, so yeah, I helped him when he needed it, and that's great. But I mean, he gave me some really great art. And unfortunately, back then, nobody really wanted his art. And that's what happens, when artists have a different style that is not part of the mainstream per se, they kind of are kept back until they hit it big somehow, and then all of a sudden everybody joins the bandwagon and says, "Oh yeah, I know Mike Avon Oeming, that's the guy from Powers." But to call up Ship of Fools or other things that he's worked on, Judge Dredd and stuff like that. He even worked with Neil Vokes.
Oh, wow.
So so there's sometimes I kind of like have to laugh at the fact that the people that poo-pooed one artist at one point of their career, now they're like jumping on the bandwagon and saying he's the greatest or they're the greatest, so forth. There's a little bit of a odd dichotomy right there.
Yeah, and speaking of powers, you know how I've often said, like a lot of people, I've got a bunch of trades and whatnot piling up for years that I eventually get to. So my friend Jason Hussa sent me these.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Brian Michael Bendis fan.
Yeah. Bendis,
right?
Yeah.
He sent me these 2 gigantic tomes or whatever. He says, "Here, read these." He said it's a quick read, whatever. So I'll get around to them eventually.
Yeah, but, it's a long read.
Well, I mean, he said it's very quick because it's not a lot. It's not very wordy. But he said, I only found out, we had a chat this week, and he said, because I was thinking, oh, I'll eventually get to read this, and I can't wait. I'll read the whole series. And he's like, well, no, that's not the whole series. I'm like, what? How many more are there? He's like, oh, it's like 6 or 7 in total.
Yeah.
I'm like,
what? That's what I'm saying. It's a long read.
Yeah.
It's more than just the 2. You got 2 free ones. First 2 is free. The next is you got to pay for it. Yeah.
Better luck for you, Eddy, since you like what they kind of look like. But yeah,
I mean, his style wasn't what was popular back then. Now it's popular. Which is the same thing that goes with Mike Mignola, right? When I was a fan, Mike was doing Rocket Raccoon. So,
right.
Mike now has his different style, obviously, but he's still the same artist. He's just moved and progressed his style. But now everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Mike Mignola. I'm a big fan." It's like,
I get it. Yeah. And no offense taken, Eddy. No worries. No worries. If you don't want to share it, that's okay. Let me see. Yes, Watermark. He wasn't bad on Dredd. He did Dredd.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd. Yeah.
Judge Dredd. Right. Okay.
Judge Dredd. Yes. And it was called Dredd, I guess. But it was very short run for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Eddy, that's exactly it. It's non-reproduction, right? Non-repro blue printed pencil.
Right.
But there's also blue pencil that you can use that also doesn't reproduce. Okay, so let's see. YouTubers get free trades weekly. Really? I don't get them weekly. But if you want,
they come to my address. They come to me.
Tom, you've got 4 stores. If you've got trades to give away weekly, I'll give you an address. If you've got some extras, to get rid of. And yes, Hart made powers possible. He's giving you all the credit.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that for sure, but allegedly I did that. Allegedly.
Allegedly, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let us keep it rolling, man. Want to get into the next one? You ready?
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Let's cue that one up. And for that, we go super cartoony. Tell us about this one. I was really curious about this one. Check it out.
Okay, so here's John. This is the other Jon
Morris.
Yeah. So you have to read the story. I urge everybody to look at the screen, read the story of Shouty Monster. Okay. John had posted on his site a illustration of Shouty Monster, or it was like a little a cartoon, just a 1-panel cartoon or something like that. And I challenged John to do a story for me, a 1-page story with Shouty Monster. And John went to work and he wrote the whole thing and illustrated everything. And it was a total surprise for me when it arrived, because I was like, okay, let's see it. And it was great. I wish that this would be as like a children's book for just any child would dig this character, in my opinion. But so I cherish it because it's something that is one of a kind, obviously, and it's beautiful to me.
Right. Well, it's good, and that, I mean, that's what art should mean to us, right?
Right.
It's what means something to you for whatever reason, and it could be a multitude of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, as an artist myself, it takes a lot of time to write up a rhyme story and to illustrate it and to put it together. So Jon spent way more than I paid him. I know I didn't pay him that much money for this. I don't even want to say how much money I probably paid for him because it's just not enough, you know.
Yeah.
So, Jon did it for the love of the story and the character, I think, more than anything. So I'm very grateful to him about that.
Yeah. Edie's asking, is it a sketch or is it a final work? And it's a
final work. It's a full storied page. It's one page. Essentially, think of it like, Edie, like a newspaper Sunday cartoon that they used to have in days gone by, the Sundays. So it's just like Garfield or that kind of a cartoon, newspaper cartoons.
Carlos wants to know, do you do limericks?
No, I do not. I am really bad at music, and with this voice, nobody wants to hear me.
And Marcus wants to know, you paid $5K for this, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. Marcus, yeah. I paid for $5K in Bitcoin, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
NSN Art wants to know, newspaper?
Well, I don't know what that is either. I just use the words.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Being an old fogey, curmudgeon, yeah?
Sick is right, man. Sick. You have to stretch it, though, with the 4 or 5 eyes. Sick.
Well, maybe he's mentioning that Shouty monster got sick in the story, too. So, I don't know.
Oh, right. He's doing like a double entendre thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Sean's asking, Hart is an artist?
Yeah. Fine artist, graphic artist, all illustrator. Yeah. I actually was going to go into the comic book industry.
I can't believe I didn't think of this myself. Hartist.
Actually, that's already been used, but yeah.
Here?
Not here. Okay. It was in college. And another one was, I was in art class, and the instructor said, okay, we're going to go around and introduce each other, and we're going to correlate your associate your name with something so we can remember you. And he goes, okay, what's your name? I said, Hart. Oh, you're in art class, so you're Hart the art, or something like that. Some stupid, silly thing like that. So,
But I'm just shocked that I never thought of that until just now. Not that I thought of it until Dwayne did it, right? Like,
well, Dwayne's bringing up bad memories for me. I'm gonna have to go cry in the corner right now because it's very traumatic.
All right. No worries. Well, we'll just move on to the next piece, and that
all right. And if I don't say anything, you can go with that.
That's right. Marcus letting us know he's more of a fartist.
Oh,
we know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot air there.
Yeah, a lot of hot air. Always something always rotten in Denmark. At least it wasn't a biology class. Look at that, Corey. Heartbreaker.
Nah. You should have seen me in high school. Big glasses, haircut that was what was that? Bowl cut. Oof.
Ooh. Just don't push it, says Carl. You'll become a shartist. Okay, you guys, now you're
all right. We've expended the vocabulary for the night. You're right. Okay, so let's move on.
Move on to another piece, and this one is a really cool painted piece. Love this. I love the character. I love the main character on. There's 3 people here, but love the main one. Check it out, everybody.
Okay. Love Eddy Newell stuff. Eddie did Black Lightning, if I correctly recall, right? Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Who's a favorite character of mine from DC back in my days in Germany, because Black Lightning was super popular in comics over there. Well, with Superman and other characters, Batman as well. But so This is of one of my favorite characters, Dr. Fate, the classic one, with Naboo in the background, and the new Fate, which was the gritty, that when they started doing gritty characters all over the place, versions. So I didn't dislike this as much as everybody else did. I like the new Fate because he was like John Constantine, but with muscles and but it was a big departure from Dr. Fate that I grew up with, which is the Jose Garcia Lopez Dr. Fate, or the Keith Giffen Dr. Fate. So it's but Eddy did a beautiful job, and the colors are staying vibrant as ever. I mean, I've had this forever, and it's still as bright as it can be. So I believe he used gouache in it. So
yeah.
I
mean, look, I can tell just from the scan. I mean, it looks fantastic. So I can imagine
it's not edited in any way. Yeah.
It's got to look pretty damn great in person for sure.
Yeah. And it's huge. I mean, it's not. 11/16 is pretty big for a painted piece. I mean,
okay.
And I think I only paid like $40 for it.
What?
Yeah, something like that. It was
what? Back in '99?
Yeah, 99.
I mean, not to say in 99, sure, because even published art, you get tons of published pages going back to the 70s and 80s from Marvel and certain Marvel and DC books for $75 a page in '99.
Right.
So surely that's why it makes sense that commissions absolutely were in plentiful availability from artists for less than $50 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But typically that would be pen and ink.
Right.
So to pay that cheaply for a fully painted piece with 3 characters on it, 11/16. That's.
Well, I mean, it's not full body characters, obviously. So some people want that full body character, right? They want the whole characters from the top to the bottom to the feet, whatever. Showing the cape and all that stuff, and that's great. Yes, but I think Eddy did a bang up job with the whole 3 characters, and really just amazing work. I mean, I know how hard it is to paint with gouache, and to do an illustration with that much detail, that much talent is just crazy. And I don't think Eddy's doing anything in this now. I mean, it's kind of a sad, but I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, me neither. That's heard of him for a while.
So. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had the same style as Dennis Cowan. Cowan. Yeah. So because I actually wanted to get Eddy to do a question, piece, because I think he would have knocked it out of the park.
For sure,
no problem. Yeah,
absolutely.
And it would have been in color, and it would,
Yeah. Ian, you're probably doing it the mathematical way that most people, like the government, does it, right? Where you're just kind of using the long-term government mandated, the number. The number that they say has been, steady on average every year for the last, whatever, in terms of inflation. But inflation, those are always they're not very accurate numbers, because when you're just talking about the life as a whole, okay, it's more accurate. But as everybody knows, not everything follows the average rate of inflation. Like certain products are way, they've skyrocketed way beyond, far higher in percentage terms than the inflation rate. So and then like artwork, as comic art, it wouldn't be 75 today. A piece like this, who knows from Eddy what he would be charging today, but we know it would be, if it's cheap, if he was considered cheap to do something like that, it would still be several hundred. Right. And if he was more in line with, kind of a lot more people in the industry, it would be in 4 figures somewhere. I've
asked some current artists if they would do color, and it's always like $500-$700 at that point. And that's, that's what they want for a color piece now, And I'm not talking about artists that are all mainstream. I'm talking about just even developing artists,
Yeah, for sure. And exactly, that's what I go with. Mike is right. Mike's like $40 in a 1999 commission dollars is $1,500 today. That's roughly what it probably would cost, but that's true. In this hobby, that's what it roughly would cost for a lot of artists to do that commission for you,
Yeah, and Eddy was a published artist, right? He did Black Lightning and stuff.
Yeah, that's oh no, absolutely. Yeah. You would have done a great question. I have a great rough to prove it, but not a finished piece. Well, there you go.
Caesar, that would have been great. So yeah.
Beastie Boys.
He just wanted to show off his pecs. That's all it was. It's chest and pecs, Yeah.
I can prove that that's not true because the question was asked right on the screen right there, my friend.
Oh, okay. So you probably told Eddy to do that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. What kind of a loser would I be? Oh, that's funny. Marcus bought Yahoo. Yeah, he's the main principal owner of Yahoo now and MySpace. Exactly.
Yeah.
Word. She's laughing at me now because of you. Known to let the beat drop. Good one. Dwayne's a fan. I know that. So that's good. All right, let's keep it rolling.
Right on.
Next piece is this one. Tell us about this one. I don't know anything about
this is one that is not a commission piece. This is
okay.
So Will Kirby is an artist that currently is doing some independent stuff. I found him online on one of his blogs, and he was doing a bunch of characters that are in his Dungeons and Dragons game. And this was one of his characters. He was playing a character, and he drew his character out, and that was it. And he kept on doing other players had characters, so he would illustrate that for them, as well as scenes of the game itself. But being a Dungeons and Dragons fan, I saw what he had done, and I'm not much of a Lord of the Rings fan because this is from the Lord of the Rings game, and so I just liked the character design, and so I asked him if he had it still, and he did. And on his blog, he also had done a color version digitally that you see to your right. So I just fell in love with it because it was quirky enough, and it has the same reminiscence of Jesse Hamm a little bit. If you look at his style, it's similar to Jesse's style too, which kind of shows you that simplistic line work that I enjoy. Thin line,
thin and fine line, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you look at old Dungeons and Dragons illustrations, spot illustrations for the books, you'll see very basic thin line drawings that were, done by artists, but they were amateur artists, and they were trying their best at putting a quality product out. So that's what I kind of fell in love with. And when I see it in other artists that are mainstream now, or at least non-mainstream, but current artists, I kind of gravitate to them. That's why Jesse and Will, I appreciate their art. Nobody needs to be like George Perez all the time, super detailed and hyper detailed or whatever. Sometimes some artists are very simplistic.
Right.
And I'm not saying simplistic in a bad way. I'm saying simplistic in their line placement and width is there, but it doesn't detract from their talent.
Do you mean, is it possible you're trying to describe like a clean style.
It's clean, but it's still a little bit on the amateur side looking, right? It doesn't look like it's
not to me. I don't see that as that's pretty much too high level to be amateur to me.
Well, I mean, when I say okay, so amateur would be the low end, but so maybe a little bit above amateur. They are they're skilled at their craft, but they're not like overly what is the word defined as artists such as Mignola, John Byrne, and Ron Friends, who have years of crafting their work.
So Edie has never played Dungeons and Dragons, but she's played Monopoly, if that counts.
Well, no, I've played Scrabble with my wife, so that's what I like to do. Monopoly, not so much.
Yeah, I played Monopoly. I always hated it.
It's kind of like a. I'd rather play Sorry instead.
Antoine describes it as it's polished or complex. I don't know.
Well, we all have definitions for art, as far as what we consider polished, unpolished, refined, amateurish. So, maybe I'm not being as eloquent as I should be.
No, that's whatever. Sometimes it's tough to kind of describe,
Right. I mean, I could say it's Bauhaus. No,
Bauhaus, nice. I'll go there.
Oh, but, yeah.
No, but it's cool. It's a cool piece. I like it. Very nice. So I see why you wanted to keep it. All right.
And it was cheap too.
Like a lot of the pieces that you got.
Right. Yeah. So that has collecting in the early days, cheap kind of helped the wheels move around a little bit more. Because I knew for a fact I couldn't go to like George Perez and say, "Hey, George, can you give me a commission of Teen Titans, please? I want the whole team. I want the Titans Tower,
Yeah.
And I want it to be $75." He would have laughed at me. Yeah.
All right, kid. Go on, kid. Scram, get out of here. Yeah.
But I'm sure George would been nicer saying it.
Sure.
Yeah.
George,
He would have been a gentleman.
Yeah.
He slapped me first, but then he'd be a gentleman.
Yeah, that's right. All right, cool, man. Let us move on to the next piece. The next piece, I really like this one. Know nothing about it though, so yeah.
Okay.
I look forward for you to tell us about it. Check it out.
All right. Okay, so going back to Dungeons and Dragons, there's a theme here, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So Wayne Reynolds is a artist that primarily works for Wizards of the Coast. Back then, so who owns Dungeons and Dragons, and during one of my collecting binges of books of Dungeons and Dragons, I found this illustration. I fell in love with it. The character was pretty cool, and year go by or so, and I find that Wayne Reynolds has a website, and I'm going, "Wayne, do you have this piece?" And he goes, "Yeah, I do." But I'm going to Gen Con, which is the big convention for Dungeons and Dragons and World of Warcraft and all those kinds of wargaming stuff.
Okay.
So you can. I don't know if I'm going to have it after I get back. So he asked me, "Do I want it?" And I said yes. So I sent him the money. I paid, I believe, $300, a little bit more than $300 for this.
Okay. Wow.
It was.
When did you acquire it though?
Probably 2009, I think.
Okay, because that would be considered one of the more kind of like a pricier one, I would think at that time.
Yeah, it was pricey. I mean, it wasn't something that I was like, okay, but knowing that. I
mean, by the way, I'm only saying just because. Yes, it's painted, but when you take into account, it's also very small.
Yeah, it's very small, but it's very detailed. He has like these one brush, one feather or one line brushes that he does these little piece or hatch marks or line works on the chainmail and the little leaves, the twigs. It's just crazy to look at, which is great because when I bought it, I was happy, and then he went to Gen Con. I had a little bit of buyer's remorse. I'm like, why did I do that? You have that. Why did I put out that much money out there when I could get 3 other commissions for this price, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
sure.
The funny thing is, he came back and he says, "Oh, by the way, I'm going to pack your art and I'm going to send it to you. And by the way, there was one guy that was really gunning for this. He actually saw it in my pile, and he wanted it at the show because he had taken all the artwork with him. So this was part of the artwork at the Gen Con. So if I hadn't prepaid it, I would have lost it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm glad that I didn't voice my opinion about buyer's remorse now, because I have the piece, and his art is going for way more than just that $300-400 I spent on it. So
cool. Edie's asking, do you know what he's holding in his left hand, right above the scabbard? Like I just all I could see was kind of like a bouquet of
it's called a buckler. It's a little small shield. Bucklers are small shields that were used in primarily in fencing, I believe. I'm not sure. Somebody needs to correct me. In sword play, instead of having a big shield, a buckler was for a gentleman to kind of like deflect swords and daggers. So it is a real item. Bucklers don't really have greenery around it. Okay. Because this guy is a camouflage character. It's just been dolled up with camouflage, but the buckler is just a metal disc with a strap to hold in your fist, and that's all it is. Yeah. Okay. It looks kind of weird, like he's wearing a bouquet. Yes, you're right.
But if that's kind of like a shield, why does it have like Edie says, it looks like a long scabbard coming down?
No, that scabbard is on the outfit. That's a dagger scabbard. That doesn't show the scabbard. It only shows the scabbard, not the whole dagger piece.
I see. I got you. Okay.
So in other words, you're looking at it. If you looked at it from another view, you would see that the dagger is in his side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah, she says too. Yeah, it looks like a bouquet of grass.
Yeah, exactly. Bouquet of grass.
I thought it was some sort of, like I said, I was like, oh, that's interesting. He's in action. He's ready for a fight, but he's holding a bouquet of something. I was like, that's weird.
This is Romeo and Juliet's on the other side of the building. He's got to go fight all the guys, the Capulets.
Right, Capulets, the Montagues. Yeah.
Tybalt is in there or something like that,
Good old grade 7, grade 8
English. Did you ever do Chaucer?
Did I ever do what? Chaucer
or Voltaire?
No.
All right.
No. I guess every school district is kind of like they kind of just they had their set thing, and this is what you guys are going to do.
Into it, yeah.
Yeah. We did Romeo and Juliet. A couple of the 2 or 3 of the Shakespeare plays. But then we did the S.E. Hinton books, the first 3 or 4 S.E. Hinton books, which I talked about on previous episodes before. Right, but and then we did the 2 George Orwell books, 1984, Animal Farm. Right, yeah. And it's kind of like it's like that for years. You ask people who 10 years after I graduated, right. I asked, kids that whatever you run into on the street or in a comic shop or wherever, and you happen to hear that they had gone to your high school. Oh yeah, out of curiosity, what do you guys do in English class or whatever? What do you read? What do they make you read these days or whatever? They would still be like, I don't know, like Shakespeare, 1984, Animal Farm, so it seems to kind of stay for quite some time, before they change. Yeah. So.
Well, we got Voltaire and Chaucer, so it was a little bit highbrow, I guess, stuff. So.
You see?
Canterbury Tales, yes.
Dwayne was doing Canterbury Tales, so it's everybody's different depending where you are,
Yeah.
But okay, let's keep it rolling. And the next
we're past the 2-hour mark. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, no. It's we're gonna do it in 3 for sure. But yeah, the next piece is about back to black and white pen and ink, and let's check it out.
All right, Timothy Green. Tim is another good friend of mine.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he lives in Japan now with his wife and his daughter.
Wow.
This came from Japan, actually. He did the piece in Japan. I asked him for the Sinestro core kind of mix montage, and for this one, I actually gave him a layout because I had an idea for where I wanted the characters to be and in what kind of a pose. So he did exactly what I asked him, and then he added his own flares to it. So. And it is just beautiful cross-hatching, beautiful, very clean inked work. I mean, ultra clean. I can't see any kind of whiteout that is for correction. It's if the stars are whiteouts, they are just dots themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great though. I just wanted to answer Caesar. Caesar, if you're referring to the issue, it's a commission, not a cover. But if you're referring to where we are in the show and tell, this is 17. So we have 8 pieces to go.
Yeah, this would be great for a cover. I mean, it's cover quality. Yeah.
Yeah, Superboy Prime. I dig it. Carl loves him.
Yep.
Marcus says he's a weenie.
Well, Marcus has his own favorites.
I'll bet this one's gorgeous in color. Well, that's the thing, Edie. Hart commissioned it, so there isn't a color version.
Yeah, but Tim is very, very good at color digital work. So if he did that, I would have bought the print. But Tim's way busy with other stuff, so he couldn't do it for me.
Antoine is asking, not sure why he's not asking you directly, but he's telling me, Ruben, does your guest have a sweet spot in terms of art size?
No, it kind of ranges between my sweet spot is 9x12 or 11/17, because primarily those kind of fit into your portfolios, or any portfolio that is. The bigger size pieces, if they can fit in a frame, I'll put them in a frame, but for the most part, I like to try to keep it a little more manageable size that goes into a portfolio, because knowing that I don't have a lot of wall space, I have to kind of resort to the 11/17 portfolios.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And for some reason, I've had artworks that are like bookmark size, 2 inches by 6, So that's the smallest I've had done.
Peter says you have a soft spot for detailed pieces, painted pieces, and cartoony ones.
Yeah, I mean it's I'm across the board. I mean I don't kind of pick and choose the artist. It's usually if the style fits the characters, I'll match it up that way. But cartoony is one of my favorites because I grew up with cartoons like Babar, Asterix, Obelix.
Yeah.
Those are cartoons. They are not comic books. They are, stories that are cartoons. Tintin, not a superhero styled artwork, but it's beautiful nonetheless, and that's cartoony. So cartoony kind of is my soft spot. I would say for some artists. Yeah,
that's fair enough. You like what you like. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like you said, like there's actually a quite a wide range. I mean, especially if you put all this stuff and take it into account together as a group, and we look at the stuff that you not only had shown in your published art show and tell, but also in the 2 episodes we did of show and sell, where we're trying to sell some of your art. And we look at your what you've collected as a whole. I would not pigeonhole you into any of the ones that Peter posted. I would say it's all of the above. Like it's a good cross, right? Cross.
Yeah, it's a good broad range. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. And Corey wants to know, Hart, do you use Rubens Framer?
I do my own framing, Corey. I know how to do it. So it's I am artist. That's what we did in college. You framed your own work. You cut mat board. You did the spacers. You did the frame. You custom framed everything. Because you had to present your pieces to the instructor. I mean, you have to learn to be other than the artist. That's the thing. It's like everybody says, I'm an artist, but can you do this other stuff too? Because it's expected of you.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to move on to the next one, everybody. And on this next one, I just for fun, I want you guys to, focus your eyes where the art is. Hey, don't look at the left-hand side of the slide where the information is. Okay.
Yeah.
Just for fun. I want you guys to get ready when the second you see it. Don't even waste more than a second. The second you lay eyes on it, I want you all to just type into the chat the character that popped into mind. Okay? Just type in the name of the character quickly. Okay, ready? And I'm gonna do the same. I've already got it typed in. Okay. I'm gonna pop it up on screen. I'm gonna jump into the chat.
I'm not going to pop it because I know.
Okay. I'll see if you know. Okay. Ready? All right. Here we go.
Batman. Oh.
Is this the one you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I totally knew it. Yeah.
Let's see what some people say. Look at that. Okay. So we got Peter, NSN, Mike's with his Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Popeye, Lord of the Rings. Then we got Chewbacca,
My Little Pony,
Catman. What the hell, Carlos?
Oh,
Vader,
Carlos, come
Swampy. On. That's awesome. Vader, Swampy. Antoine, really? Swampy was your first one that came to mind? That's awesome.
Nice, Antoine. Nice.
The Shadow, nice. Chewbacca, Vader, Chewbacca. That's a great hour, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Chewy, spooky. I made 2 hour, man. That's awesome.
Actually, that Saturn girl, guys. Come on.
Oh, Chew Vader. It is Swamp Thing, though. That's awesome. But it is Swamp Thing, man. Tell us a little about it, because I've never heard of Joshua Alvarado, and I think it's wild. It's just his technique.
So Joshua Alvarado is an artist that is working in the video game industry. Okay, so he's an art director, actually, I believe is what his title is. But he's local, but I found his website, and he had this in his Instagram, one of his posts, but the piece was done digitally that he when he did it originally. So I asked him, could he recreate it in his real style using pen and ink and Zipatone and other whiteout and stuff like that with that character Swamp Thing. And he said yes.
Although that's probably white paint or gouache, though.
It's a mix. There's a lot of stuff on there because there's Zipatones, there's scratches, there's smears, there's all sorts of stuff. And the cool thing is, he really enjoyed this because he said the original one that he did, he had some issues with, like he didn't think that the certain things worked. So he corrected the mistakes or the errors that he thought that he had done for the digital one. So this was a great addition for me. I am a Swamp Thing fan. I like Swamp Thing, and one of these days I'll eventually get a Swamp Thing page if I can, find the right one. But for now, I've got this really cool commission, and it is super hyper detailed as far as all the type of hatching and applications that he did with it.
Yeah, it's just very unique, very different, very unique, and that's what I love about it. Antoine says, Hart, when you see all of those stray marks like zipper toe erasers, does that affect your appreciation of the art?
Not at all. I like messy artwork. I mean, it gives a more vibrancy. I mean, obviously some artists don't do messy. I mean, but this, if you look at Bill Sienkiewicz's work, you can see this and see Bill Sienkiewicz in it, or you can see what's that Italian artist Topi?
Oh, Sergio Topi.
Topi, yeah. So Joshua has a very Topi style as well. He has some of his works that he's done commission-wise have very Topi-esque stylings.
Yeah.
So that's not being able to own a Topi or a Sienkiewicz. I have a Joshua piece, so I'm happy with that.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, very different, especially like I said, because it looks so much like Chewbacca, but it also looks like a very stylized interpretation of Swamp Thing,
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, very different.
I mean, it's not a Stephen Bissett with all the vines coming out of the neck areas. True, yeah.
Well, it's his own style, though, right?
Yeah, it's all style. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Marcelo even said, I was gonna say, you know. Antoine says, nice. Some collectors want the art to be in mint condition, like a comic book. Yeah, like Matt Kennedy, my frequent co-host. But let's not get into that.
Well, I have commissions that have coffee stains or kind of like food stains on it, because it's in the area of the whitest area. It's in the negative spaces. And I'm like, did you just have a spill? And that's exactly what they did. It's like, I mean, if you look at some of the pages, comic art pages out there from the 70s, you'll find the printer's grease fingerprints, all over the pages because they used the grease stains got onto the paper and it just made it all brown.
Yeah, exactly. Let's check out what Antoine's saying though. Some collectors want the art to be in mint condition, like a comic book. I've had work because Antoine's an artist himself as well. Yeah. He says, I've had work rejected by collectors for that reason. But you got to be careful, Antoine. It just depends though. Like, like what level, to what degree of, damage, are you allowing to occur on it, but if it's part of the artistic process, then you should make sure you try to explain that to them so that you tell them that's not that considered damage. That, you know what I mean? So just be careful, obviously, of how you handle it once you've finished it and how you pack it when you ship it to them, because collectors for sure are picky about these things, So you're very welcome, Edie, for sure. No clip corners from Matt. It could be the Fantastic Four, Amazing number one, Amazing Fantasy 15. The clip corners? No, I'm out. Yeah, that's funny. Food stains are a bridge too far in my view. Oh, that's
Oh, okay. Well, not for me. It's kind of the par for the course. I mean, artists are human. They're just doing the thing, and sometimes mishaps happen, and you have to deal with it. What are you going to do?
Each their own.
You don't start from scratch. Then that's the thing. It's like, I mean, if that happened, I would say maybe ask for a discount.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, and Rick, there are artists out there that use coffee grinds to paint with, whatever. So that's a good
staining kind of
staining, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it's not as rare as it might have seemed at the time to you. All right, let's go on to the next one, everybody, and we're going to revisit a character we saw earlier in the show.
My Little Pony.
Another boy, you just have this. You just cannot stop.
I'm a brony, right?
Pony, man. Oh my God. Okay, it is not My Little Pony. We will not.
It's not. I know.
Ponies tonight at all. It is another.
Darn it.
Not darn it, but close. Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this is not a commission that I ordered.
Oh, okay.
This is a gift from a fellow calf collector, Patrick Brooks. I did something.
Patrick Brooks, you said gifted this to you?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
He had. Must have been during the time that I was collecting Doctor Strange, and we spoke about characters that we loved, and I mentioned Doctor Strange. I had done something for his youngest son, I believe. And as a gift for what I did for his son, he commissioned Don Kramer to do this for me. So this was this appeared out of the blue. I didn't even know it was coming, and Patrick sent a nice letter explaining what he had done, and Don had done this for him, and I was like really pleased and really just amazed at the generosity that he did this. So
yeah, that's cool. Sig Slayer Station comic book headquarters. Man, you got to do something about that long ass.
Yeah, that's a big long thing.
Welcome back, yes. Yeah, he loves Don Kramer. Yeah,
Kramer's great. I mean, the JSA stuff. I mean, I used to have a JSA by Don Kramer, but I think we sold it on on the show, right? One of the sales show. So I think so.
Which one?
One of the JSA Don Kramer pages that I had.
It was
I sold it.
It was a Kramer
one with. It was with. It had Wildcat and Power Girl right in the center panel.
Yeah, it was a Kramer one.
Yeah, that was Kramer.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. Okay.
I think it was Kramer. I'm 89-90% sure. I think.
No, yeah. But, I take your word for it. Yeah. I just don't remember it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I missed that page, but has to go.
There you go.
That's the life of a 25 only collector.
Yeah, that's right. Cool hand positioning. Yeah, I love it. I love the fingers, the hands. That's kind of my favorite part about it. That top hand, especially.
It's not Michael Golden giving me the finger. Okay.
Yeah. Antoine says that could be a cover. I mean, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
Totally. I'm like. That's what I mean. This was a great gift,
Yeah, that's very nice for sure. Yeah. I painted some canvases. Oh, okay, copper paint. Okay, he's talking about the P in the paint. Other using other different crazy strange mediums in their paintings. Yeah. Well, he was a weird guy. I thought it was Georgia Lane, but not Kramer. Oh God, it takes Marcus to make that joke, the Seinfeld joke, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wonderful. Yeah. So, Rick, this next one is for you. I know you'll. I think you'll appreciate this one. Actually, in fact, I know you will. I really like this. Here we go again with the cartoony mixed with hyper kind of detail. I love that combination. It's really cool. Yeah, so let's check that one out here. Here we go.
Ruben, I don't consider myself a cartoony collector. I'm a highbrow collector. Okay,
highbrow.
Straight, a highbrow. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So this is actually a Jesse Hamm inked piece. Grimjack. Everybody loves Grimjack. Well, most of us older guys and gals love Grimjack.
Especially Rick Welch.
Well, I'm sure he has a few Tim Truman Grimjacks, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Who wouldn't? I was on the hunt long time ago for some Grimjack, but I'm sure Rick took them all. But anyway, I asked Jesse for a kind of a Golden Age styled cover piece with Grimjack in it, because the old Golden Age damsel in distress by the mad scientist and the monster, the scientist, so forth. So that's pretty much what I gave him as far as instructions, and I said, just put Grimjack in it, please. And this is what he did. I didn't even know he's going to do a horizontal or landscape, layout. but it works great. And I did ask for no, I actually did not ask for the logo, but he put it in for free. So, some artists for commissions, they put the logo in there, but they charge like an arm and a leg for that extra piece.
Yeah, interesting. We were talking earlier about pro level versus amateur, and Edie saying that this one to her looks more amateurish compared to the previous ones. Although I don't know if she's referring to the other Hamm ones or everything we've seen in the past.
Like I with Hamm, I explained already the pencil work. His pencil work was far better than his ink work, and he actually even told me when he was doing this piece for inks that he wasn't comfortable with inking yet. So he was going to try to do his best, and I still think that he did a great job with it. So, obviously, it's in my collection, so that's why. Yeah.
I can't speak for Edie, but I would say if I had to guess at what she's pointing at, I don't think it would be the ink work. I think that's the strong point of it. I think maybe if you look at on the far right, the creature on the far right. I think the figure work is just a little bit, not as solid, if you will.
Oh, okay. It's a darker mass, and it kind of detracts the eye, pulls the eye too far to the right.
No, because that technique, the lighting technique, is fine. I'm just saying, anatomically speaking.
Well, his right leg is forward, and his left leg is off panel.
Yeah, right. But that kind of makes it weird or whatever.
Okay, that's what you're.
Because it makes it look like the right leg kind of is coming out of his.
I see. The pants is kind of odd looking, or the canvas pants, shorts, or whatever he's wearing.
Yeah. But I overall, I mean, it's still a fun piece. I think it's really it's still great, especially like I said, the lighting technique is really, really wonderful. I like it a lot. Yeah, Corey loves it too. Yeah, likes it, and she's clarifying. She said that. In comparison to the ones immediately previous to this one, so the last few.
Okay, yeah, of course, yeah. But Jesse's style is very different from the previous one.
Yeah, but no, I like it. I like it.
And Jesse, as the years progressed, he got better and better and better, obviously. And unfortunately, I had stopped commissions, I believe, for a while because of all the great commissions that I was still waiting for, from artists that were going to promise me all this stuff. So by the time I remember, to recontact him, I discovered that he had passed away.
Oh,
so that's why we kind of have to remember life comes in and does some strange shit.
That's for sure. Sorry. He's also aping Truman. Oh, I don't know.
See, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's his regular crosshatch stuff. But you know what? We all see different aspects of it. And you never know that I did give Jesse Truman art references for Grimjack. So yeah, he probably did have some kind of influence on Jesse.
Yeah. Edie makes a nice point. She's on fire tonight. Very active. That's pretty cool for a first timer. Check it out. You know what they say, good art is art that sells. Bad art is art that doesn't sell. Nothing else matters. I mean, if as an artist, your primary focus is to make a living off of it, certainly, yeah. But if you're one of those,
as an artist, you have to.
If you're like one of the fine artiste types that are like, I do it only for my art, then.
Hey, you're talking to the guy right here. I'm the artiste guy. Right? I'm a highbrow.
Yeah.
My abstract expressionist paintings are the shit.
And Antoine says that Hamm had probably passed away just to get out of fulfilling the commission.
Oh, really, Antoine? Really low.
He went there. He wanted to live longer to enjoy the money.
Yeah,
I would say.
I never met him, and I would have liked to have met him, but I heard that he was a really, I mean, his studio mates in Periscope Studios, which is Ron Randall and Jeff Parker and other, and Steve Lieber.
Oh, Steve Lieber, yeah.
Yeah, that's the studio he was part of, Periscope.
Oh, he was working with those guys. Okay.
Yeah, and Colleen Dover, I think, is in there too, or somebody like that.
Colleen Coover?
Coover, yes. Not I was gonna mash up Colleen Doran and
Doran, yeah.
Yeah, so sorry. But yeah, I believe that's the studio that he was part of.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get to the final 5, folks. The final 5 that Hart has decided to keep in his collection. Number 21 coming up right now. And I really dig this one. We've seen the artist earlier tonight as well.
I wonder, is it a 2-character piece?
It is.
Is it a male and a female?
It is.
Okay.
You know me well. You know me well. Okay. Check it out.
Well, okay. So being a Kirby fan, how could I not get a Big Barda and Mr. Miracle piece?
And yes, and as a quick reminder, everybody, Joshua Alvarado, he's the guy who did the swamp thing that looked like Chewbacca.
Yeah, Vader Swampy or Swampy Vader. So again, with Joshua, I just said, these are the 2 characters. I want Kirby Crackle, and that's it. And he went to town.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a really...
Yeah, so, I mean, it is huge because it's 2 11/17s butted up to each other. So it's meant to be framed, I would say. But, you know, no wall space. So it's stuck in a portfolio, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you split it up so that each one is on one side of the portfolio, side by side.
Right, exactly. So yeah, they're split that way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I did plan on putting like taping it together with the archival tape and all that, but then I was like, you know what, I should just keep it separate for right now, and then later on I'll once I possibly have wall space, I get it framed and so forth, and then I can glue it. I mean, piece it together.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say it looks like Han and Leia. What?
Star Wars on the brain. Star Wars on the brain.
Oh, these guys always. Always. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really, really cool piece. Glad it worked out. And wow, so recent as well, man. Just like
it took Josh took a while for this, so it was I want to say almost a year and a half for him to finish, because I was on a waiting list actually. He had done, when I joined him, he had like 7 or 8 commissions before me. And then what he did is, when I came up on the number and he asked me, do you still want to do it? And I'm like, yes. So at that point, we got the commission done. And then it was probably 6 to 8 months completion after that.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
It turned out great. So good for you. I mean, that's a good one. Antoine, it appears that she appears to be holding some sort of a rod, a very stiff rod of some sort. Yeah, let's leave it there. A stiff rod. Yeah.
So childish. Antoine.
Come on. Oh, please. I'm the childish one, right?
I'm the highbrow. I'm going the high road, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, Carl. It is quite lovely for sure.
Yeah. I actually had plans to get him to do a Superboy Prime at one point too. So, but
oh, really?
You know, yeah, but I had to bow out because there's a lot of things that were going on as far as monetary problems, or things that I need bills to pay. Let's say that's what it is. It's bills to pay. So,
and this is Peter. He just finished saying a couple of minutes back that it's in a portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who is she choking out? Who is she choking out? I don't see her choking.
Oh, it's a parademon.
Oh, the parademon, right? Yeah. And I must say, I am with Ruben. I fall asleep watching it. He's talking about Blade Runner, which now Edie. I don't know, man. I have a feeling Edie's lying to us. I think Edie is older than she claims. She seems to kind of know a little too much about, like, Blade Runner. Oh, my favorite film. The director's cut is my favorite. Like, I don't know. I think she's somebody we know under a different persona. That's what a different name.
Well,
yeah.
You can't go by what I like. I like Cary Grant and Audrey Hepburn in Bringing Up Baby. So who am I to pick and choose?
No, I love those. That's a great.
Yeah.
That's
or Arsenic and Old Lace, if anybody knows that one. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Good
but
stuff.
That's the Wayback Machine. Come on now.
I'm in, baby. I'm in. No problem, Peter. No problem. Just letting you know. Corey, the fact that she is spread eagle doesn't help. Jesus. It's a trap. That's a Star Wars thing. I know it. Hart is always bringing the high class to the show. Oh, for sure. That's exactly what everybody is.
Look at this. This is the highest class.
The first thing on people's minds always when Hart appears, here comes class.
Yeah, I'm high class trash is what I go by. Oh, here you go. High class trash.
Oh, that's funny. Take your word for it, Edie. Take your word for it. Love Arsenic and Old Lace, Peter.
There you go, Peter.
You know? Yeah. Oh, he'll ignore me. Hart is well read. He is very well read, actually. Yeah.
Well, I am not only an actor, but I am a Shakespearean actor.
Actor. Ruben is just worried Edie is a N. What is that?
Did you anonymous?
Did you hit enter too soon or something?
I don't know.
I don't know, but in the meantime, let's jump to the next piece, shall we?
Yeah, we're almost done. We're almost done, guys.
So this is piece 22, folks, and it's another artist we saw a little bit earlier. Depends how you look at it.
Okay.
How you consider it. Check it out.
Nope, not cartoony, but comic booky.
Some people do kind of say that they think they describe Timothy's work as like cartoony yet very detailed, so kind of quasi-cartoony realistic.
Well, I think he's like Jeff Darrow. His style is hyper-realistic, detailed, and that's what I like about Tim's work. He does extra little bits and things in his comics pages as well. I mean, if you look at the background, I am a background person, so I kind of look at that as well as the foreground, obviously, with the characters. But if you look at the background and it's just a bunch of lines and a square or rectangle for windows, it's boring to me. So I like Timothy puts a little bit more into it. But this is the companion piece to the Sinestro Corps. So they actually are meant to be butting up to each other, not attached, but like companion pieces to each other is what I wanted him to do. So they were done in roughly the same time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also quite recently, not too long ago. Yeah. And so, does this mean that you did the deal with him, and he was shipping it from Japan?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so it went well. It was okay.
Yeah. He packed it really well. But it did come in pretty crappy condition.
Oh.
Yeah, why? Because it was dinged up. It was dinged up on the outside. Yeah, but he had padded it well enough for it to not get too dinged, I would say. I mean, some of the edges are a little curled, but that took a little bit of flattening out and stuff like that. So, I would say that Japan or transit from Japan is pretty rough.
Okay.
But that's goes to say with Italy or France, they have the same kind of method of throwing artwork or boxes around just as much as Japan, I would say. So, I mean, I don't know.
Sorry, Sean's complimenting you, saying that these commissions are refreshing. I don't know their works, meaning a lot of these artists.
Yeah.
But they are well done and not the same styles. Yeah. Well-rounded. That's what we said, you know.
You go for what you like. Yeah. You go for what you like, Sean, and just hope for the best. Commission work is a crapshoot, really, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, everybody knows that.
I mean, I'm a poster child for that thing. I mean, Corey, you know, you're feeling it too. So, you know, there's a lot of people that when it comes to commissions, you are biting your nails and wondering what will happen, because all that money you invest in it, you're hoping for the best, but sometimes you might not get the best. You know.
That's actually very, very true. Rick says that when looking for an artist to do a Green Lantern commission, having the last name Green is a good sign.
Oh, good point, Rick.
Funny, I didn't
think about that. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. Caesar wants us to know that he's going back to Japan in May again, bringing back some ninja stars.
Oh, by the way, there is a ninja show or something like that in Tokyo, I believe. It's like a restaurant or something like that, hotel restaurant. You can go and can't be touristy as hell, but you know, if you're into ninjas, you know, not historical, but more fictional, you know.
Yeah. It's funny because Eddy made a comment and replied to Caesar, and it's what I was thinking as well, which is, will you be allowed to bring them into the country though? You got to watch for those, you know.
Yeah, you're not allowed. They don't allow you to bring any kind of bladed items in your.
But for something like a ninja star, would that still apply? Like if it was in your checked baggage?
Yes, because it gets scanned, right? Still gets scanned. They still see it.
So you're saying you believe that a ninja star is on the prohibited items list?
Yes, because it is a bladed weapon, because it's got a point on it. Even if it doesn't have a sharpened edge on the side or flanking it, but on the tip itself, it's still, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're declared as coasters. Got it, Marcus.
If you're creative enough, I guess, you know.
Marcus makes his own ninja stars, I hear. And he's going to start an Etsy store. And I'm the first buyer.
Yeah, nice. Maddie, what's up? Give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. Nice. What's up, Matt? We talked about you earlier. Now you're
I only said nice things. He didn't say nice things at all, Matt. He was all Matt, blah blah blah.
You'll have to watch the entire thing at regular speed just to find out, because I don't remember where we mentioned you. We talked about you though.
Oh, it was in the first hour at 35. No.
Oh, Caesar already knows. Not allowed on carry-on, but it must be checked. So he's allowed. It's not a prohibited item as long as you check it.
Oh, well. Well, yeah. I was going to bring back cutlery knives that I was going to buy, like sushi knives, but they wouldn't allow that.
Really?
Yeah, they said that I would have to have it shipped from Japan by them to the United States.
Okay, interesting.
So that would have been like just as expensive as buying it here, you know. Okay,
interesting. So so you're in New York, Eddy, and but Eddy, how do you know? No offense, or not intended, but how do you, like, why would you know that ninja stars would be prohibited on the prohibited list? I mean, why would that be something that you would know? Because don't they allow guns, for example, as long as, let's say, you have I don't know,
carry?
Yeah, or whatever paperwork is needed, then you can declare it, but I think it has to be in the checked luggage, or I don't know. There's all kinds of rules, right?
It has to be holstered. It has to be locked. The barrel, the trigger has to be locked. Things like that. I mean, I know for a fact you can't ship ninja stars or bladed weapons into California. right?
Okay.
They don't allow that. Yeah. You can go to Arizona, buy it, and drive it over. I've seen people do that.
Well, it has been revealed by Antoine that Edie is a ninja. So now she's a New York ninja. So now that's why that makes sense, you know?
Does she know the Mutant Turtles?
Or does she occasionally fight the Daredevil and Elektra on rooftops in Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, yes.
We all would like to know. My ex-wife has no problem traveling sushi knives from Japan in her checked luggage. The shop supply paperwork. Oh. Wow, interesting. Okay.
I got the wrong information.
What can I tell you, Marcelo? You come to my show. You hear all kinds of shit. Oh boy! All right, enough of that. Let us keep it going. And the next piece, everybody, is this one. I love this one, man. And I want to say something.
Okay, I'm going to be intrigued.
I want to say something about this, but I want you to say whatever you want to say first.
All right. Okay.
All right. Check it out.
Okay. All right. So this Ryan Sook is the artist. This was a gift by Ryan to me. Nice. Yeah. So I got to know Ryan very well. His dad is a graphic designer, just like myself, and Ryan and I just hit it off right away at San Diego one year. Early San Diego, and I think it was around 2000. And for a few things that I did for him or sent him, kind of things, he did this Magik. It's all Prismacolor, colored pencil. So it's layered Prismacolor on top of Prismacolor on top of Prismacolor. So if you really look at the colors, the yellows mixed with orange, greens, blues in different weight and pressure to create this painting.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's really, really cool. Yeah. Can I say what I wanted to say?
Yeah, go for it. I'll probably be more eloquent.
What?
You'll be more eloquent. Come on now.
Oh no. I mean, I just wanted to say that you know how when you look at a piece, sometimes, right, like you look at a piece and it reminds you of things, whether it's the imagery or just the technique or whatever, you know, so it evokes other images that pop into your head immediately.
Like Gustav Klimt or something like that?
Okay, no, I actually was thinking, I saw this and immediately I was like, oh, what if Vincent van Gogh came back from the dead and took a commission list for superheroes?
Right, yeah.
I kind of saw, you know, his the strokes here made me think of the ones that you know from, well, sunflowers or
the Starry Nights and all that stuff.
Maybe, I don't know. Am I out of my mind?
I don't know what he was thinking because he just he knew that I liked Magik character-wise.
But now that you say it, though, stylistically, you could say Klimt.
Right, because it's that nouveau kind of stuff.
Yeah. Did you feel that when you first got it?
Yeah. I pretty much thought this was like a fine art rendition of Magik in an old painting tapestry kind of style design paint application. You know, it didn't look like anything that he had done ever. That's the thing. It's like I've never seen him do this anywhere else.
Exactly. Very experimental on this one.
Yeah, it was experimental. I think he was just having fun with what he had on hand. And even the sword, if you look at the sword, there's these cross-hatchings of layered blues and purples and white that just create the sword's blade, you know?
Yeah.
And then you have negative space that counteracts all that layering, you know, the black negative space kind of just like makes it go in and out of itself a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Klimt does the same thing, you know?
Right. And Antoine also said it looks like Gustav Klimt.
Yeah.
And interestingly, he says also, I can also see the Van Gogh lines. Yeah, that's what I was referring to, the lines.
Well, I did speak with Ryan about art, and we were talking about Gustav Klimt because I'm a really big fan of Egon Schiele, which is Gustav Klimt's student, and I love Egon more than Gustav. But it's that same kind of era that and I think that's what he was trying to give me, is that styling of those two artists in his own style as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marcelo also thought that it has an impressionistic style, like Van Gogh-ish.
Yeah.
Highbrow magic. There you go.
There you go. Thank you, JC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eddy, no, this whole channel, the whole purpose of it is to just help promote the love of comic book illustration, but in particular original comic book art. So we are here. Let me come back to you. It feels weird to try to speak to somebody. We all here are, the vast majority of us anyways, are collectors of original comic book art. So everything we show, so on my channel, when I do like show and tell, it's always, we're always showing and talking about original pieces, not never prints. In fact, it's almost like a dirty word here when you mention the word print to most of the people here. We're very much all about buying the originals, owning the originals. So there you go. But yeah, no, that's a great piece. I really love that piece, Hart. That's why I saved it for one of the last ones. I wanted to keep.
Well, the funny thing is, I did plan on selling it at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and maybe it was too highbrow magic for most people to buy it, and it stayed in my collection, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out
well. Yeah, it's like funny that's
very welcome, Eddy.
Yeah,
exactly. The way it worked out for the best, I guess. And or a monoprint, exactly.
Yeah,
they're all various variations of prints, anyways, of non-originals. So yeah, heart to heart, JC will take it.
There you go.
I'm sure you will.
Thank you, JC, for being so eloquent.
There you go. Yeah. So it looks like we're gonna fail the 3-hour mark, but it'll be soon thereafter. Only 2 pieces left, everybody.
Come on, let's hit it. You have 2 minutes. Less than 2 minutes.
I can't rush. I can't rush out of here. But the second to last piece coming up here, everybody. Number 24 out of 25. Check this one out. Also really like this one.
Oh, okay. So Tommy Lee Edwards. I knew Tommy Lee through a coworker of mine long time ago. I used to work with a good friend of his and his wife's, and she introduced me to Tommy. And I met Tommy at one of the San Diego cons, and he was with who is it? John Paul Leone, JPL.
John Paul Leone, yeah.
Leone and a couple other artists, and they had started their booth said the Boulevard or something like that, I believe. It was like a studio group or something like that they were trying to put together. I'm not sure. But this image was as one of the banners that he had done for himself, to promote himself.
Okay.
So this image is not a commission per se. It is a commission that he did for himself to promote himself. You remember those banners that you had that you pulled up?
The convention. Yeah,
every artist had it, and they put their own art and to promote themselves. Instead of buying big booths, they had single banner pieces. And Tommy had this on it, and I thought it was cool. I didn't think about it anything else. I commissioned him at the show for a sketch of Batman, which I had sold like several years later, to my stupidity. Yeah, I thought I was done with it, and I was like, I should not have sold it. So I think it was, let's see, we were talking about the dealer,
Glenn.
Glenn. It was Glenn. Yeah, it was, or was it Will? No, it was Will. Will Gabriel. Will Gabriel had this on his website. Gabriel. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not sure now. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
And so they had on their website, or one of them had on their website, and I jumped at it. I said, you know what? I can't do the whole amount. Can I do time payments? So I got it for the time payments, and I'm really happy because I'm a fan of all those characters. Obviously, it's DC, right? Well,
right.
Spirit is not DC. Is
not,
it DC?
Not so much Spirit, but obviously,
so yeah.
But the question in Batman.
But the question in Batman and Spirit-esque is kind of DC if you think about it.
Yeah, he fits regardless, right? So
right, he does. That's that. It's that noir kind of hard-boiled detective kind of thing, and they're all detectives, right, in some form or another.
Yeah.
So the color version shows what the banner looked like, but I think the black and white is far surpasses that one. It's just really, really great, and it just is a great example of Tommy's use of light and shadow. He's really good at it, and it's got a little bit of that photorealism going for him. So,
yeah. Caesar says that's a cool one, right up my alley.
Yeah, Caesar. That's true. Yeah,
we know what you're into, Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar. I'm sorry, Caesar. This is staying with me.
Yeah,
very
nice.
It is kind of large. I mean, it's I think it's 1117 or a little bit above 1117 ish, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
really, really nice. Yeah, Tommy Lee's a great artist. North Carolina guy. I know that.
Yeah, he loves his motorcycles and his Jeeps and all these.
And he's actually like part of the like, I guess, part owner, I guess you could call him, of the North Carolina Comic Con.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's there every year. So I just thought he's a guest or whatever. But then Mike Perkins, who's friendly with him, told me that no, he lives there, and so he's part of the whole ownership. Okay. Yeah.
He actually did a lot of work for Star Wars too, like spot illustrations and stuff like that. And those go for a little bit a bit of a penny there. Star Wars fan loves their Star Wars stuff.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To make it all DC, call the Spirit Midnight.
Huh?
We don't get it, Caesar.
Dr. Midnight? No. I don't know.
Explain yourself. Yeah. DC published, yeah, exactly. They published the Spirit in the early 2000s. That's right. Yeah. And in the late 2000s, they did that one shot with Batman, Spirit and Batman. I used to own the Darwin Cook cover.
You own that? Oh, wow.
I own that. Yeah. And then I sold it, and then it ended up with Albert. I sold it at auction. Albert bought it from auction, and then put it on his website not long after for double the price.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Albert method, right?
Albert method, exactly.
I've sold a cover to Albert, and he willed me down to almost nothing, and
of course,
what he made off of it, yeah. Marcus, don't ever talk to me about Albert ever again.
Caesar's clarifying that Midnight is a DC character, Spirit-like, but like from where? Like
I don't remember Midnight.
Doesn't sound familiar at all, Caesar. Like from what title? Like where's he from? DC had a Golden Age character that was a rip of Spirit. Okay, but Golden Age, yeah.
Everybody was a Golden Age rip,
Yeah, the Spirit.
Everybody had a mask and a fedora, right? It's like Golden Age 101.
Even TJ says DC called it Midnight. All right, but what? From where? What? A title called Midnight? Like when? What era?
And who was the artist? Right?
Who drew it?
Yeah.
Exactly. Marcus wants to know who's Albert. Exactly.
Oh, You know, Albert's my uncle. I don't speak to him ever again.
Midnight is a Golden Age hero. So you're talking only about the Golden Age hero? Why would we? Why Caesar? Why would you know if it's only a Golden Age hero? The Great Ghost. Okay, Crimson.
Oh, that's from the Batman animated series, isn't it?
Okay, now isn't it Crimson Avenger?
I know Crimson Avenger, but that was actually Crimson Avenger had a miniseries done by Gene Colan.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of when as soon as he said that. That's what I pictured when I saw that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey, just because I don't want you, Marcelo, I don't want you to think I forgot you, and I'm sure because it's been a while. I'm sure you did think I skipped over you and ignored you. Just to show you,
couldn't happen to a better guy.
just to show you how awesome I really am. I want you to know that I did not forget you at 10:28. So 37 minutes ago, when you asked me personally, I had to save it because it was off topic. So we're just gonna get to the last piece right now. So I figured before we get to it, let me just address this. He said, "What is your holy grail, Hart and Rubin? That artist that you'd like to have an original of, but couldn't so far for any reason." Do you want to take that?
Are we talking commission, or are we talking
whatever? Anything doesn't matter. If it's a grail, then you would know what it would be. So if it's your holy grail, right, you would know what the holy grail is. So,
well, I have my holy grail. I mean, the grail that I have is the JLA Howard Porter Angel versus Superman, Blue Superman. That's my grail. I mean, I completed my grail. I mean, I have mini grails or alternate grails, but I mean, it would be great to have like a Moon Knight Sienkiewicz cover. Yeah, something like that. Or New Mutants, the Sienkiewicz Demon Bear one. You know, interior from that. What's the other one? A really nice Jose Garcia Lopez, maybe Batman or Superman page, you know. That comes to mind. I mean, there's a lot, but you know, you can't be greedy. I mean, grails are like wish list, right? Sometimes because you're like, you don't know where it's at, right? Most of the grails that I've mentioned, I have no idea if they're out there. And if they are, they're probably black hole collectors have them, you know, and they're not going to let them go. But I'm very happy with the grail that I have. So, yeah. What about you?
Before I answer, TJ, thank you for reminding me. I bought that issue off the stands when it came out. I'm trying to picture. I can picture a female character on it who I think was the Nightshade.
Well, she has a skirt, right? It's a little skirt. Yeah. She's got like goggles or something like that.
I don't remember.
Or a mask, black mask kind of thing.
I'm also thinking of orangey color with some kind of spotted part of her on some of her.
Well, she's coming out of a black portal, like a black
right, like a portal kind of thing. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah. But
I don't remember the other person.
Yeah, I'm not picturing what the Midnight looked like. That's hilarious.
Well, obviously he looked like Spirit, so it's just a ripoff, you know.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so they were referring to a Golden Age. Yeah. Smash Comics character acquired by DC later. Whatever. That's it. That's why I wouldn't have known him. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is Strips #2 interior cover a grail? It is not. But I enjoy it. Thank you so much for asking. Black Hole Collection. Just Google it. No. Yeah. Whatever. Whatever. I'll take a look after. And thank you for answering, he says. And so, look, my answer is no. I don't really have one. So I own my Holy Grail already, but and you need to know that it's based far more on nostalgia than on, you know, it's not something that, wow, this is like the most incredible, artistically beautiful piece I've ever seen in comic books, you know. Now, given the artist who did it, it's actually very, very good for him. He was he was known more as a much maligned inker throughout most of the 80s. His name's Al Milgram.
Oh,
Al Milgram. But Marcelo, you should check out my cap gallery, and it's right there on the homepage in the featured. It's the Hulk. It's a Hulk cover.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll see a Hulk cover in my gallery, Hulk 272 with Sasquatch and Wendigo, and you might be interested in reading the description I put in for it. So you'll find out very detailed description as to why it's my holy grail. It might make for an interesting read, so check it out if you want. And artistically, if I had to get one, artistically, no, I don't have one. There's way too many beautifully done pieces of comic book art that have been done throughout history. Yeah. I've never been one to be able to pick favorites for anything, whether it's movies, colors, food. It's just too much great stuff. Yeah, so I don't really have one.
So what you're saying is my Ryan Sook piece, Magik, is something you want to covet, right?
No, it's nice, but it's not.
See, see, to me, it's got more value because of the background that I've nostalgic roots, right? It's my association with the artist and how I befriended him and got to know him better.
No, that's good. Yeah, it fits your collection better than it would mine, anyways. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you're welcome, Marcelo, for sure. Marhola also changes. Well, there you go.
Let me ask Marcelo this: what is your grail? If you want to come out and say it, that's something.
But he just said it. He said it. Mine changes every day.
Well, okay. So what is it today? Right?
Yeah, exactly. What is it today?
Hey, we gave you ours. Now you give us yours. Porterside, hey.
Good to see you, Scott. You're coming in just in time to see the final piece of the evening, my friend.
And then it's done.
And then it's done. And then we're out of here. Let me see. Nightshade was the sidekick partner. Okay, right. I would have flipped it by now. Today is Katsuhiro Otomo Akira.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Marcel. That would be, yes. If I had the choice, that would be today, too.
And Sean, no, you got it wrong, my friend. The term grail is so overused. That's the problem. That's literally the problem in this hobby, is that nobody says, oh, yeah, that's a holy grail for me. But pretty much everybody says, oh, yeah, that's a grail for me. Oh, that's a grail for me. Oh, that's a grail for me. So that's the one that's overused. So a grail has come to mean essentially, oh, that's a piece that's really cool. Oh, that's a piece I really like. That's all. It's basically meaningless because everybody seems to have countless grails,
Right. But
it just means a bunch of pieces they wouldn't mind having. Yeah. So
holy grail,
grail is the one and only.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, JLA Porter, and it's not a Jack Kirby for one.
Scott said it best. There is only one grail. Everything else is just a side quest. There you go.
Yeah. Side quest.
Grail today. Grail. That's right, Mike. Grail today for sale tomorrow. Exactly. To a lot of collectors, no doubt.
Hey, Mike, do you have any preacher pages that are going tomorrow?
That's a grill for me. Look at that, Sean. In fact,
grill.
My today holy grail is the cover to Hulk 272. Well, Sean, let me tell you.
Is it for sale?
What?
Is it for sale?
I was thinking about it recently. It occurred to me. I said, I like Sean. Maybe I could consider it. It's just a question of, what? How can we price it up, right?
How
do we price it up? So I said to myself, oh, what's the first thing you do? Well, you kind of try to get these comparisons. I said, okay, let's get something recent because recent sales are important, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So then I thought, okay, how about if we picked, I don't know, some random recent sale of a Marvel cover by Al Milgrom, and then we'll compare the character, whatever, and that's a good way to do it. So
$50.
So out of you're going to be surprised, my friend. You're going to be surprised.
All right, give it to me.
Because a few days ago, no more than 2 or 3 days ago, the cover to Amazing Spider-Man 194, which is by Al Milgrom, and it's granted it's the first appearance of Black Cat. Now, before we all
that's the one. Yeah, I didn't see it where it went.
But before we get all too excited about it, let me say something. I thought it was going to go for between 150 and 250. Okay. And I thought that would have been ridiculous to pay 250.
Right.
But I thought in this market, it's probably, it has a chance. Okay. It sold for $1,020,000. So okay, to me, it's like it doesn't even matter that it's a Milgrom. Clearly, you're paying
the Black Cat
for the Black Cat, but still, like, it's not Wolverine. It's the Black Cat.
Was it inked by somebody else, or is it all Milgrom?
It's all Milgrom. Yeah, pure Milgrom.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So, anyways, whatever. The point is.
So you're saying to Sean, half of that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look, that's ridiculous. They clearly overpaid, but half of that.
Okay, who bought it? We want to know who has the money for 1.5 or whatever, 1.02.
That's the thing. We don't know if anyone deserves it. It's Sean. Listen, if he can, if anyone deserves $500,000, it's me. So let's talk. Start with an 11-cent bid. Nah, you better go to Nick. Stick with Nikki for that one, baby.
Yeah,
there you go. Look, even Caesar agrees. Caesar's all for the $500,000. That's a fair comparison. I think that's good. I mean, listen, I could be greedy and go, hey, I want $1 million as well. But no, I want to be fair. I'm fair to you, Sean. I think that sounds good. Look at that. Tom says the same thing. I figure $500K. Me too. That's it.
For the Hulk or for your for the Black Cat?
No. For the Hulk. Yeah. We're trying to come out to a fair price that we could make Sean happy with.
I think that's a little high, honestly, but that's just me. And you know what? You better sell it now because the Hulk collectors are all dying off.
Who's a more important and well-known character across the entire planet? The Incredible Hulk or the Black Cat?
I'd say Midnight.
I would say Midnight too, if you're thinking of the Black Cat. So whatever.
Yeah.
Whole Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. What are you guys talking about? Holy Grail, but the Grail is guarded by a rabid beast with big teeth. You guys are losing me now. Holy Grail is the chalice used during the Last Supper. That is true. He's confused at you, Edie. If anyone deserves it, right? We talked about that. We talked about this. We talked about this. All right. Exactly, Marcus. Black Cat is no Hulk. Let's get out of here. So really, mine should be at least $2 million. I mean, frankly, the Hulk is at least, in terms of value as an intellectual property, the Incredible Hulk is literally worth, it must be hundreds of times more than the Black Cat's value as an intellectual property. So, whatever. Sean, you see how Sean has disappeared all of a sudden. Look at that, Matt. Chump change. Exactly. I'm being cheap. I'm being very too cheap with the $500K. It will go for $250 when they flip it on C-Link in 6 months. Well, that's the thing. Mike, if they don't listen to if they don't listen to me and Matt next week on next week's episode, if they're not careful, if they don't tune in next week, they may actually end up flipping it on C-Link. So you never know.
Hey, Matt, what's my Holy Grail worth now? I mean, I need to know what the JLA page is worth so I can get my insurance claim going.
Tom Holland bought it for Zendaya. Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Edie makes a great point. A 35-cent banana duct taped to a wall sold for 6.2 million. Not even the banana. It was the rights to eat the banana or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the rights to put a banana on a wall with duct tape. That's actually what it was, believe it or not. Yeah. So,
well, did you remember Mapplethorpe, famous photographer, right?
I don't know anything of
them. Mapplethorpe did Christ in piss. There's a picture of a Christ image in a bottle of piss or a jar of piss.
Can't say I knew that one. No.
Okay, that was a lot of money. All right.
Okay.
On and on.
Yeah. People have done a lot of crazy things for Jesus Christ on a piece of toast and all that kind of stuff, Yeah. Mickey says, look at it this way. If you're a billionaire, hey, Mickey, by the way, if you're a billionaire, the cover costs 1/1000th of your net worth. Would you pay 1/1000th of your net worth for that cover? But that's, of course you would, but you're also assuming a very crazy assumption that this person's a billionaire, whoever bought that. So we don't know. But the only black
we should say this now. It was Nick Barucci, and he's going to sell it on C-Link next week. Or it's going to be on the EXP. It's on the EXP.
Sean's back. If I'm willing to take a bad check, then we got a deal, Ruben. But it's still a Spider-Man cover. Yeah, doesn't matter. So 500K for the Hulk is fair. No, that's true. I agree with that. Yeah, for sure. Exactly. Thank you, Caesar.
Well, does your Hulk cover have a little female character somewhere in the background that raises up the price a little bit, or no? No, just the Hulk, huh? Yeah, I would downgrade it now.
No, it's got the Hulk, Alpha Flight's Sasquatch behind him, and the Wendigo behind him. Wendigo, who's tied into Hulk's first appearance. The whole story with Wolverine's first appearance.
Wolverine. I was like, Hulk's experience is not.
Yeah.
Wendigo did what with the gamma bomb?
That's it. I like Black Cat too, Mickey, but there ain't no comparison in value and popularity and worldwide for the two characters. So wonder if there are any rare pieces of art lost in the California fires. You know what? Sadly, Antoine, there's a good chance there may be.
Yeah, because the Palisades fire is like they're $1 million houses. 4 million is the average, so
Sean, you took too long to respond to my offer, and unfortunately, my holy grail has suddenly changed. Well, he did say it was only.
Want some Dungeons and Dragons TSR original artwork by Bill Willingham or Jeff D.
That's you guys are crazy. That's Ronald. It was Bezos who bought it to keep it away from Musk. Nice. Lord, the piss Christ. Oh Christ. Arguably, Wendigo is a female character. Okay. Anyways, guys, we gotta get out of here.
Let's move it up.
A pretty standard length show, but it was fun. Let's get to the last piece in tonight's show, and then I will show you the kick-ass thumbnail for next week's show with Maddie. All right, so here's the last piece. I thought I wanted to show this one last because it's rare in the sense that rarely do comic book commission collectors commission pieces that look like published art. You'll see in a second.
All right, we'll see.
You're forgetting what
I've forgotten already. Yeah.
Wow. All right, check this out. Okay. Or maybe you didn't commission it and it's just an unpublished.
Oh, it could be. Go for it. Hit me.
Right.
Hit me.
No. You commissioned it.
It's blackjack now.
Check it out.
Oh, okay. All right. So yes, it is kind of pseudo-publishy kind of look and feel, but so Justin Mason is a new up-and-coming artist, like a lot of the Sean Gordon Murphy and Daniel, what's his name?
Warren Johnson.
Justin Mason is in that same kind of stratosphere. He's moving up in popularity, I guess. So knowing where a lot of the Preacher artwork is, and I'm never going to be able to touch it. That's a dig on Mike NSN, right, Mike? So I asked Justin to I selected several panels that I thought was relating to the story and the whole overall arc of Creature, and I told him that I want these to be assembled, and this is how I want to assemble it, and just do it in your own way. And so Justin just went with it and added Zipatone and all that stuff, because we both talked about Zipatone, and he said, I love Zipatone. So I'm like, great, I do too. Go for it. And that's where he just took it and just gave me this. And now I don't need to buy any Preacher pages from Mike. Well, not that Mike would sell it, but, you know, Mike lets me pet it every once in a while, I think.
Yes, sir, Matt. A sequential commish. So, yeah, I was busy trying to handle the last comments that were coming in. So I didn't get to hear the back half of your story about this page. So I'm going to have to catch it on rewind.
Oh, that's all right. I was pontificating way more than it should have been, you know.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll bring a portfolio to Vegas.
Yes, you are.
Let's see. What else did
Just
I know?
one, Mike?
Marcus. What'd you say, Hart?
I said, Mike said, he said that he's going to bring a portfolio to Vegas, and I said just one, knowing that there's multiple.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Eddy, I agree at the beginning, right? Because when you typically go with the first panel, you know you can easily go right to the second panel, but then you're used to going down and to the far left. But in this case, you're going kind of It
is not a panel page. It is mostly a montage of scenes of the story. Right. Think of it that way, Eddy, because it's. I understand your thoughts about being confusing. Yeah. Nothing really relates other than it's a identification of particular scenes and characters within those scenes for the storyline.
Right. It's not supposed to be sequential.
Right. Yeah.
Right. There is no story being told here. Is basically it.
If I had my way, I would own pages from each of those that have each of those panels. But I'm not going to worry about that. I have this. Yeah, Mike, you're right. It's a montage.
There you go. Yeah, montage of the different scenes from different characters. Right. Yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's amazing. And the one that I chose to blow up, Cassidy, I love that. Oh, it's so beautiful. And that's just a Zipatone there to.
Yeah, that's all. That's pen and ink, and then he just threw Zipatone and the white paint or gouache or whatever it is.
Right.
So, you know, I like the fact that he took certain things with Zipatone and certain things he didn't apply Zipatone. So it kind of gives a different look to each panel. It doesn't have the same overall feel of everything Zipatoned.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's beautiful, and the whole piece is just splendid. So, yeah, man, thank you. First to you, Hart, for
thank you, everybody,
being willing to do this for a second time. And it was great, man. I had a lot of fun, and like I said, I did enjoy it even more than the first one with the published stuff. Yeah,
which is again ride off into the sunset and say that's it.
It's cool for me, you know, because it's ironic because, as you know, I'm not a commission collector. I don't.
You want your published pages and covers. Yeah.
I like to admire them, but I just have no. I don't know. I just don't want to own them. I don't want to get into asking.
Well, you don't want to go through the hassle of the process of commissioning somebody and not getting it or losing or whatever.
That is definitely the main thing. Yeah. But I also have said many times, I'll say it again, I just like the process. So what I like best about them is the idea. So it could be something as simple as, oh, I would love to see how this character would look by this artist, right? Sure. But I'm not curious enough to want to pay for it, right? So that's why I would not commission. So for me, if I see somebody else commission it, I want to see the end result. Because that's what I always wondered. Oh, so that's what it looks like. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's where it ends. Right there, I no longer feel any need to have to own
done.
it. You know?
Yeah,
I'm done. I saw the process and or the end result, and that's all I kind of wanted, you know.
Well, it happens to me when I was selling off some of the commissions, right? Not the ones that I have to sell still, but the ones before that. It's like after a while they were sold because the experience sucked, or the fact that I just grew out of loving them, you know.
Right. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, I don't know if you're wondering what we're saying, Edie. Zip. It's like zip dash hyphen. Okay, zip hyphen letter A hyphen tone Tone. It's something that was very, very highly used by the inkers in comic books, especially in the 70s through 80s. It's basically a sticky sheet with different types of dot patterns you can get, and artists use it for shading, basically. So instead of wasting time, shading in with ink,
they would cut out application.
Yeah, they would cut out this, a shape, whatever shape they needed to fill in the space they would normally ink, and they would cut it out and stick it in, and it would give you different tones with, because it had different patterns. So that's what that was. We used to have the first appearance pages of Tulip and Cassidy. Oh, and the first flash.
Oh, hey.
Wow. Used to. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we all can say that, right?
Exactly. Thank you, JC. I appreciate you as always, man.
Thanks, JC.
Nice collection of 25, Hart. Thanks for taking my mind off current events. Thank you, Lee.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Going forward for sure, and hoping things get better sooner rather than later. Obviously, I'm frugal that way. Nah, it's not really the money aspect. Like I said, it's just once it's done, I don't feel the need to own it. It doesn't mean anything to me. Just seeing the result is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks for sharing, Hart. Looking forward to your 25 Grails I want show in a few weeks. Awesome. Thank you, Carl.
What do you have, Carl? Let's ask you that. No.
So, Ruben, it's not about the art, but about the prestige associated with the being a published comic. No, I don't know. It's not. I don't think there's prestige necessarily with published stuff, but you have the combination of story and art to think about.
Yeah. Plus nostalgia for you, right?
Yeah. So it's got some nostalgia, but I don't. I have some modern art too. I buy contemporary art too.
Well, I'm not talking nostalgia and art as far as old nostalgia. I'm just talking.
Yeah.
But because you've read the book or you've read a series, that's what your hot button is. Whereas a commission doesn't hit that hot button at all.
Yeah, it's mainly because I think together the big difference for me is I think it's when you mix it in as part of a story, it tells a story, or that one page tells part of a story. I just think it's infinitely more interesting to me than say, characters, whether it's one or three, standing there posing for the camera or fighting each other or whatever. It's just
you can only show Wolverine going with his claws so many times, right? That it becomes unoriginal, right? I mean, if it's in a page, it's useful because it's part of the story. Whereas if it's a commission, I'm just showing you a knuckle with a big claws coming out of it. That's all. It doesn't have an impact.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Look at Sean, the smart ass. Thanks, guys, for doing another show and tell. I almost had a good time.
Sean, I'm coming over to your house.
You're welcome. Welcome, Edie. Yeah, that's what it's called. And actually, you know what? Fun fact: the company went out of business for many, many years. There was no Zipatone, and comic book art lamented it, but it has come back. I don't know what. I don't remember the name of the company who brought it back, but it has come back, and some inkers are using it again. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, Tom, good night, man. Thank you, as always. Appreciated. You too, Rick. Appreciate it.
Rick.
That's provenance. Commissions can be from any time period. A published work is a definite time period. That's true.
Yeah.
My commissions are generally narrative. Hey, I'm not saying anything bad about commissions. I still like to look at them. There's just, for me, a difference between enjoying them just by looking and that feeling of I need to own.
Yeah.
it's not a decision that I made consciously. You understand? I'm telling you, I just never felt the need to own. It just, that pull doesn't happen for me when it comes to commissions. So, yeah. I mean, there's exceptions to every rule. I've commissioned people going back to 2000. I've commissioned probably 5 or 6 artists. I've done, I don't know, 6, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 commissions. And as far back as 2000, I had commissions done. So
let me ask you this. I got a question for you in that respect. In regards to the book illustration covers that you have, the paperback book covers, those guys, yeah. Those guys right there. Did you read every book that the covers are from? No.
Oh, hell no.
No. So why is that something that you covet or want to own? Because that's just the sake of the art now, and it had no real tie to the story, because you've never read the story.
You are a bigger control freak. You need to control those commissions. It's well, because I love illustration, and so I like different types of illustration. So for me, the fact that most of these book covers that I own are from the 50s and 60s, I just love the styles from that era. Okay. So so illustration from that era, I just really, really dig it. And it reminds me of comic book art, except it's not from comic books, Right.
But if a person that is one of those artists had done a commission and you found it, would you buy that commission or not?
Probably not.
Not okay. All right.
Probably not. I think it's certainly something about published, like the idea that, I guess, the historical aspect of it, right? Where you can pull out, like in the case of some of these novel covers, right?
Right.
The fact that I can go to my bookshelf over there and pull down one of the books, the actual novel, right, and be like, oh yeah, and I think back to, okay, when was this published? Oh, so 1964, for example.
Yeah.
And it just takes me back to, how life was like back in 1964, that people would have bought this little novel, what they used to call pocket novel, pocket book,
yeah,
right, at a news agent on the corner of a street in Manhattan, whatever, you know what I mean? Like it evokes memories of the past.
For me, I would want to read the inside so I know what the cover is referring to, just because, if I was collecting illustration book covers like you do, the need or the draw of buying a cover for a paperback would be related to the story that I had read inside the book. Okay, the scene that it's coming from. But I do understand that some paperback books, the scenes on the cover have nothing to do with the interior. Sci-fi illustration back then, paintings for the covers were done just for appeal. I understand that, but right. But for me to go and collect a paperback book painting or illustration, I would need to have a correlation that it's, these two people, that one's a gumshoe, one's the femme fatale, they're in the office because she's there to kill him in the story, right, that kind of thing. So,
right.
Because the cover doesn't really say that. It just shows them both in there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, see, so I'm the opposite. Like I do love hard-boiled crime imagery. So I don't read the novels, but I love the imagery, and maybe that comes from loving the sort of detective, hard-boiled crime movies from the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, even the 30s, some of them, and it just evokes some of that imagery, which I love so much. And I love the look of the world in America in the 1950s. That's my favorite decade visually. The 1950s and then 60s is my second favorite, and so that's what it evokes. So I if I see a dame with a gun pointing it at a guy and she's got him, I love the idea of femme fatales, because usually the females are the weak ones. right? They're always portrayed, historically been portrayed as the weak characters. And so that's why I love Femme Fatales, because it flips the script on women being weak. And now I got the gun, asshole. Now what are you gonna do about it as I pointed at your head? You know what I mean? And so when I see a painting like that, it evokes those kinds of images of the movies I've seen. It makes me wonder what's happening, what could have happened, right, in this scene. How did they get to where they are here? And so, you know, you got Antoine saying that he thinks that I just prefer published, but that's true. I never denied that. Of course, I do prefer published, but I also have bought some unpublished work. You know what I mean? Yeah. But mainly it's what it evokes. And I always think of, hey, this image, it's a single image, sure, but I may not have read the novel, but it makes me wonder, again, what happened here? You know, how did we get to this scene in the story kind of thing, you know? So yeah, and with panel pages, of course, it's part of a story. It tells a story. And I love, it's like a movie director, you know? It's not just the cool fight scene images. I just like how storytelling is done. Great storytelling, composition, all that shit. That's part of it, you know?
One last question. So if you had a page that you were always coveting, but you know that you'll never get, would you be open to commissioning somebody to do a rendition of that page, or that's sacrilege kind of thing, or whatever you might say?
You mean a commission of one of the covers that I covet?
No, yeah, but not by the original artist per se, but just a commission of that piece. Like, as case in point, like the Jesse Hamm Bucky double page splash that you showed today. I mean, I know I'm not going to be able to afford a $5,000 double page splash, but I own that scene with Jesse Hamm's commission that I got. So
let me. Sorry, I'll get to you in a second. I guess you're gone now, Eddy. Unfortunately, but I let me take this second to read what you said. Gotta go, guys. It's pushing midnight here, and I'm starting to nod off. Thanks so much for chatting with me. Had a ball. You're a great bunch of people. Have a great week. All bye. Yeah. So in case you come back to the last few minutes on Rewind, I just want to say thank you, Eddy, very, very much, because not only is it, again, rare, we don't get too many new people that come in. Certainly not it's not a weekly thing, and much rarer in this hobby that it's a female. So that's also a cool thing. But also the fact that, and most importantly, I love the fact that you saw this put in front of you by YouTube. You decided to check it out because you're like an art student, and you hung out, even though you don't really have a connection to comics, as you said, other than through Heavy Metal magazine. You stuck it out, and you stuck around almost 4 hours. And most importantly, you were not only super active with commenting, but perhaps even the most active, certainly one of the most active people in the chat tonight. So that's awesome. I love to see that type of participation. Really, really appreciate it. I appreciate you. And just want to say you're welcome anytime. Hopefully, I mean, I know, again, you're not really a comic book person. So I don't know. I'm kind of shocked you stuck around as long as you did. But if you did have fun, like I said, you're welcome to drop by anytime. My show is always on Sunday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern. So yeah, that's it. Thank you again for your participation. I really appreciate it. So sorry. What were we getting at with
I was talking about about the commissioning something that you'll never get. You know, let's say the Black Cat covers Spider-Man. You know, you can't afford the 1 million, 102, whatever it is.
Right. Would I get somebody to recreate?
By the way, I want to answer Mickey just real quick. Mickey, the covers I'm referring to is science fiction covers from the 70s, paperback covers that more than likely, if you read the interiors, they didn't have anything to do with the covers, because they just wanted to entice people to pick it up. So that's the covers I'm talking about. I'm not talking about covers for original art, comic book, and stuff like that. I was mainly talking about sci-fi paperback covers.
There we go. Thank you for clearing that up. And Antoine, yeah, I get you. I've seen many people that do recreations, good recreations, of other people's art, and they look great. But like you say, the desire to buy one is weak. So, yeah, that would answer my question to you, Hart. That there's something about there's something for me where look. Let's put it this way: my very first commissions were recreations, comic book cover recreations,
right.
And I loved them, right? They were beautiful, but after a short while of owning them, I realized it's not the original.
Right.
They were hand drawn, but they're recreations. They're not the original, and I'm a collector of the originals, not copies, right? Recreations.
Right. Your direction is only the originals and nothing but. So I understand your answer right there. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah, preferably. There's something about owning the original that everything else is just it doesn't meet the criteria. Like when you've had the opportunity to own originals, and that's what we all collect here. Yeah, for me, it's been hard to be interested for the long term in having recreations. And I've actually had quite a few recreations. I still own some recreations by a no-name artist that I did for fun. And I've had them for 20. I got them done in like 2000, 2001, and I still have them. Because they're fun. They were cheap and they were fun, whatever, Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Marcus. That is awesome. She's already moved on.
What did Marcus say? I'm sorry, I didn't.
He's making an inside joke about Karen, because Karen made her last appearance on her channel talking about making an appearance. I don't know, on some comic book guy's channel, Sticky Goose, and I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Comic book guy, anyways.
That sounds more like a fetish, Sticky Goose.
Antoine, appreciate it. I wish you would have said it earlier in the evening, though, because at a certain point, I saw you guys talking to each other, and I said, "Oh, you made a comment that made me think, oh, it looks like they might even know each other from somewhere." Okay, so you've been in many chats.
All right. Okay, so that makes sense.
Other channels. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Well, anyways, just in case, Antoine, that you see her again in the next chat or whatever, in whatever other channels you guys are in together, just let her know that we appreciated her being here and how she participated. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you. Let her know that if you can, just in case she doesn't show up here again. Milgram should be making 100 recreations of the Black Cat cover now. He might. Yeah, exactly, Tom.
Does he do any work? Is he working at all?
He'll do recreations. Yeah, they're not as good anymore. I don't, whatever.
I mean, isn't he like 80 years old?
Mickey says he's also talking about sci-fi book covers.
Mickey and I have different views, because I remember like old sci-fi covers that the ones I'm talking about are the old 70s that are really bad. They've got a flip kind of covers because there's two short story or actually novellas in the paperback. If Mickey knows what I'm talking about, he probably does. Those are the ones I'm talking about that have very little to do with the interiors, story-wise. I mean, yeah, it'll have spaceship or an astronaut with a ray gun. That's the gist of it. But it doesn't have the actual occurrence of what's going on.
Antoine, listen, anytime you're dealing with somebody who has a fake name and you don't know who they really are, anything's possible, whatever.
Right.
She or he was nice, right? She was very polite. They were very polite. Like I said, that's all we care about here. She participated very well. Didn't come here to just fool around and say stupid things, whatever. So, yeah, I'm thankful
for
that.
We don't know she's actually Albert spying on you. Looking for your Hulk cover.
The seller said he would give Milgram a piece of the earnings of the black cover. How do you know? Who's the seller? Do you know the seller? Oh, man. Anyways, guys, we got to get the hell out of here.
Let's get out of here. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Fooling around and saying stupid things is your shtick. Yeah, you're all right, though. We still like you anyways, Antoine. Appreciate you, dude. Mickey won't let it go. If you're talking about the Ace paperback books, I will look them over, but that's not my recollection.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody, cheers. Yeah. Let me we'll leave you guys with next week's thumbnail. Matt and I are gonna be back. Here we go. Check it out.
He's a lot better looking than I am, so go watch him.
Yeah, so it's kind of a continuation of the last two episodes we did together, but I decided to start doing them under the Comic Art 101 series, since they are fairly educational, whether it's for newbies or even some veterans. Anybody, a lot of people can benefit from this stuff. So yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. Read the description. There's a little bit of a difference. Rather than putting the main focus on comparing sales price to sales price, I'll put the focus a little bit more on bottom lining it to try to show everybody how much the loss will be for the seller, who's reselling it. Hopefully that hits people in the head a little faster and kind of wakes people up and makes them say, whoa, maybe I shouldn't be doing some of selling this way or whatever. Anyways, read the description, you'll see what it's all about, but it's very similar to the last couple of episodes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Last two episodes were a lot of fun. They were some of the most watched episodes that I've ever done. So I think this one will be just as fun as that. So please join us here. Yes, exactly, Matt. See you next week. Cheers to you, Antoine. This facetious. Take care, TJ. Stay safe as well. Thank you. You can tell I'm grabbing my nuts under the photo cutoff. Marcus says, you can't tell I'm doing that now. All right, guys. Thanks again for everything. Appreciate all of you. Guys. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Don't forget Nikki B on Friday, and then come back here next week at the usual time, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. All right, guys. Cheers. And as always, go blue.